Greeting fans as they enter the track, Miles the Monster stands guard. You know when your nickname contains the word monster, you're pretty frightening. The truck that shows the least fear could end up here. Here before, but was in the garage last year. Crafton's been top 10 the last 2 seasons. Bodine has several nationwide Dover wins, none in a truck. Will this be Almirola's day, or will they all continue to chase Timothy Peters? In a race, the only position that matters is first. Today, we're racing in the state that holds that honor. Delaware was the first of 50. Who will be the first of 36 today? As the trucks get ready to mash the monster, it's time for the setup, presented by Polaris. Hello, everyone. I'm Krista Voda. Welcome to the setup from Dover, located just outside the racetrack. We are not afraid to go toe-to-toe with Miles the Monster in the background, staring us down. All 3 series racing on the track this weekend, but the trucks get the first crack at the concrete banks. The last time the trucks were on track was 2 weeks ago in Kansas. The landscape may be flat, but this finish certainly was not. It was a race that had a little bit of everything: hair-raising passes, heroics, even hail. Here's a look back at Kansas.
Kansas City, Kansas, a gorgeous day for racing.
Oh, we got one loose on 4, got a flat tire and a crash.
So Rick Crawford takes out the 56 as he gets loose, battling for the lead. Problems coming into turn 4 or
it's
turn
Matt
1.
Crafton involved. Severe point ramifications for Matt Crafton. We're getting reports from the spotters on the roof that they're feeling some raindrops as Hornaday ducks to the inside. Not able
Hornaday gets into the back of the 18. It looks like Brian Eichler hangs on to it. The caution flag now comes out. It is for rain. And now it's hailing in Kansas. Those guys are actually clearing up once again.
It is gorgeous right now. I think they can drive this track off. We're going to get it all in.
We're back underway in Kansas.
Oh, we got smoke again from Ron Hornaday.
They're still having problems with that fender rubbing the left rear tire.
He may have a tire rub, but that truck is awesome right now.
Here comes Hornaday trying to make the pass as they go into turn 3.
Yes!
Both of them sideways. Sauter keeps it going straight. Hornaday's going to save it. They stay 1 and 2.
That was incredible. Now Johnny's opened up almost a 1-second lead.
Johnny Sauter on cruise control.
Johnny Sauter celebrating in victory lane.
That was out of control. I'm thinking that dirty bugger Hornaday got me again, but I don't know. That's maybe I'm the man. I don't know, but it's just cool.
Johnny Sauter with an unbelievable save, and the end result, career victory number 2.
That was so incredible. And as soon as the race finished, talk already circulating about whether that was the best save in NASCAR. Well, no question, it was the best dual save in the Truck Series history, and our drivers agree.
It was pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. Not really quite sure what Hornaday was thinking, sticking it in there, coming up on lap traffic. But, you know, both those guys have extreme amount of talent, and that's why they run up front.
That's what the Truck Series is about. I mean, that's the reason everybody loves watching these things. And it was a pretty good save. It was a pretty good race.
That was pretty impressive. That was a pretty crazy save. Looked like they're on 2 dirt tracks out there, but you know, they did a good job and saw a good job. And congratulations to him for winning.
That was fantastic. I'll tell you, great piece of driving by both those guys. I think the wall kept Johnny from spinning out. I don't know what the hell kept Hornaday from spinning out. He should have wrecked, but he didn't. What a great job by both those guys.
To save a truck that out of control that good, that speaks volumes for the drivers in the series.
Wow, what a save those guys did, and that had to be one of the best saves I've seen in a long time. It just shows you how hard these trucks are to drive and how much fun they are, because you can get them that loose and save it. But those guys did an awesome job, and that was pretty cool to watch.
Cool indeed. With the save and the win, Sauter leaps into the top 10, up 9 positions. Hornaday, Dillon, and Skinner also jump up onto this list. Bodine replaces Almirola in the on-deck hole. Timothy Peters retains the top spot. Our top 2 have the top 2. We start with Adam Alexander.
4 consecutive finishes of 7th or better for Timothy Peters gave him a big point lead, but much of that went away at Kansas after finishing 23rd. So how do you rekindle the momentum today?
Our number 17 Red Horse Racing Toyota Tundra has been good ever since it came off the trailer, and Jeff Hensley and all the guys on his team have been doing an awesome job. not only this week, but every time we get to the track. So, again, not to sound like an old broken record, but I'm just glad that I get to sit behind the wheel of this Toyota Tundra. Thank Tom DeLoach for giving me the awesome opportunity. Got strutmasters.com on board, Crescent Tools, and one special thing, too, is we get to carry the autism puzzle and make sure everybody goes to www.autismspeaks.org and try to help raise awareness.
And despite the fact he had those problems in Kansas, he is the man everyone is chasing in the standings.
Well, Todd Bodine comes into this race second in points and rolling off 11th today. Can you win from there?
Well, you can win from any position. You can win from last, but you know, we really struggled in practice. Just couldn't get the truck to drive good. It's just really aggressive on the steering wheel, and for qualifying, Junior made 12 changes to the truck. And when out qualified, it was pretty good. It was still a little aggressive, but not bad, and a little free through the middle qualifying, which hopefully in a race that'll transfer to really roll in the center good, which is what you got to do here at Dover. So I'm optimistic. You know, I think you told me Hornaday won from 15th here, so it can be done from any position. Right now, though, the top 5 trucks are just lightning fast. Kyle is a rocket ship. Elliott Sadler's really good. I mean, there's some good trucks, so it's going to be hard. We just got to stay out of trouble, keep our Tundra up front and in the position to be able to maybe do something with a pit stop. And who knows, the truck might be lightning fast. We'll go up there and pass them.
All right, Krista, we'll see if his 12 changes make the 30 truck fast.
All right, the dirty dozen indeed. Thanks, Ray. You know, we are just beginning to scratch this concrete surface. Coming up, we are going to talk Hall of Fame. It's been all the rage this week, and the trucks are even included. There you see a great paint scheme on Austin Dillon's truck. That's coming up. Plus, we'll open up the vault, and we'll sit down with Johnny and Ron. A lot more to come on the setup presented by Polaris from Dover, the Monster Mash. We get ready to go in the Truck Series next. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all of your truck, tire, and towing needs. And by Wrangler. For unbeatable comfort and value, you can count on Wrangler Jeans Company. It's been a busy week for NASCAR fans, a great day for the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. NASCAR's Hall of Fame opened its doors this past Tuesday. Speed covered the event live, took fans inside the building, and talked to drivers and owners who, in many cases, were seeing the Hall of Fame for the first time. In addition to several smaller halls in different cities, now NASCAR is on par with other major league sports. And the Truck Series' own Johnny Benson, Todd Bodine, even our very own Phil Parsons in attendance for the special event. Next up, the inaugural Hall of Fame Class of 5 will be inducted. That will take place a week from Sunday with live coverage where else but on Speed, beginning at noon Eastern. The Hall of Fame has some great memorabilia from all NASCAR series, but what if the trucks had their own wing, complete with its own inaugural class? Well, we took a vote and gave the nod to drivers Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner, Jack Sprague, owner Jack Roush, and owner Jim Smith. Smith helped develop the Truck Series. A lot of fans here will probably be adopting Austin Dillon as their favorite driver today. Why? Because he's carrying the Intimidator on his hood. Dale Sr. was a big reason Bass Pro Shops got involved in NASCAR. To honor Earnhardt's Hall induction, the company created a special paint scheme for Dillon, grandson of Earnhardt's longtime owner, Richard Childress. Adam, it's all come full circle.
Nothing like honoring a legend. That's what Austin Dillon will do today as he commemorates Dale Earnhardt's trip into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Coming off a career best finish at Kansas, what has the learning curve been like this weekend at one of NASCAR's toughest tracks?
You know, we've been able to have some really good finishes here lately, and just having a great team putting together great trucks. And we learned a lot yesterday here at the Monster, and they don't call it that for nothing, so it's going to be a tough race. And can't wait to get out there and see how we end up. Running all the laps is what we're going to try and do, and hopefully end up front with the man on the hood today.
The Rookie of the Year point leader starting 12th today, Ray.
Well, Adam, the 5 truck will roll off 5th today, and when I look at those 10 different winners at Dover, I notice Mike Skinner's name's not on that list.
Well, if you watch some of the races, we've led the most laps and sat on the poles, but you know, we've either had a tire come apart or we've gotten a crash or bad pit stop one time, and you know, we ran good here at Dover, and I love this place. I love coming up here and racing, and hopefully we can get that International Trucks Monaco RVs Tundra up front today.
All right, we wish you good luck. Mike Skinner in the 5-truck.
Thanks, Ray Skinner, our series' very first champion, and his inaugural trophy is one of the first things you see when you walk into the Hall of Fame. All the festivities have definitely put a spotlight on NASCAR's history, so we thought we'd run with that theme. Open up the vault back to the 10-year anniversary of the series. A look at the first decade of what is now the Camping World Truck Series.
It really came down to a group of guys from the West Coast who felt like that this was something that could work. Came and sat down with Bill France.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the birth of the next great NASCAR racing series.
These trucks run a full body. In fact, many of these trucks are completely factory sheet metal, not just the roof and the upper rear quarter panel like on some of the Winston Cup cars.
It's been 10 great years. There's been many exciting things that's happened. It's progression of taking short track racers, given another opportunity to move up the ladder of NASCAR to get to the major leagues.
I think most of the race fans that are involved today know and remember when the Truck Series started and know, how kind of small it was and how it's, and just kind of seeing it grow and progress.
What they had in mind was that we were going to bring Cup Series racing, Busch Series racing competition to tracks that couldn't ever host a race of that caliber.
The series was first developed, it needed its own identity. It took off. I mean, it really did. We used to run 43 trucks when we dropped the green flag. Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner, Jack Sprague, and none of them would give an inch anywhere. And they kind of helped form the series to what it is today.
If you know some of the tracks we went to and see all the beating and banging, we went to different venues of road courses, and the only thing we missed was dirt tracks.
Having the Winston Cup affiliation, backing, support made this series survive long enough to stand on its own 2 feet.
It's been very important for, Childress and Hendrick and Roush and all them that had helped out at the beginning.
I think it gave the fans something to say, wait a minute, if these guys are involved in this, this must be something pretty neat.
I think what even put the icing on that was the fact that we had Mark Martin over there, we had Kenny Schrader, and there was a couple races, we had 10 Cup guys in the race, When they came over and raced with us, we outran those guys a lot of times, and I think that built our careers, and it helped the Truck Series as well.
I think maybe the first 7 or 8 years was a good growing period, and this last 1 or 2 has just been unbelievable the way the series has grown. With manufacturers stepping up their programs and the way they become involved.
You got drivers that came in, won championships. You got drivers that come in and show off some. They go to Cup rides, and people see that. And it's like, okay, this is an avenue that people can travel to get other places, and because people are watching the Truck Series.
While it has become a great, mature national series for NASCAR and created a lot of great opportunity for people to be involved in, I think we've just scratched the surface.
Rocket ships indeed. No doubt the Hall of Fame is on everyone's mind this week. I had a blast covering the event, but I'm not the only one from our group who was there. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, and Michael Waltrip are upstairs getting ready for today's race, and I know they have their thoughts on the big event as well. Rick?
Yeah, Krista, what an amazing day Tuesday was for all of NASCAR. You guys were actually both in attendance. What a great facility and an opportunity now for young drivers to have another thing to try to attain, to get into that hall.
And, just the atmosphere, the electricity that was in the air. We were so happy to finally open our Hall of Fame. There's been so much talk, so much hype. We've watched that beautiful building go up in downtown Charlotte, and now the doors are open, and some of the sport's greatest are now a part of that great Hall of Fame.
Yeah, 60 years of NASCAR here, and we finally have our own building to house the guys that we want to honor. And what a great inaugural class with the Francis Sr. and Jr. and Dale Sr. and the King and Junior Johnson. And how cool was that when they drove in, when Richard and Junior drove in with those race cars?
It just set you afire. I mean, it was so exciting to feel that. And then all the things in addition to the inaugural class that there is to do inside the Hall of Fame. There's so many interactive experiences that you can enjoy. There's a lot of history, so much to learn about our sport. Our sport is so new that a lot of the people that were here 60 years ago are still here today, and we can talk to them about that great class.
And let's talk specifically about what we're talking about today, the Truck Series, our inaugural class, the guys that we would vote into the Hall of Fame. I mean, I would say that they're shoo-ins, the 5 that we've looked at.
Oh, certainly. I know Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner, those guys certainly are at the top of the list. You think about the sport, you think about those guys. Jim Smith was instrumental in the sport even being here today, so some great names on that list,
Yeah,
Bill.
absolutely. Jack Sprague, a 3-time champion, and Jack Roush, to me, was very, very important, instrumental. He embraced the series from the very start, and that's where we got Greg Biffle, and that's where we got Kurt Busch, and the list goes on and on.
Your brother, too, Benny Parsons, he had some names that he threw in that got guys rides early in the going, and that was certainly a big part of this sport, too.
And do you think that Ron Hornaday and his maneuver last week at Kansas pretty much solidified the fact that he's probably a Hall of Famer?
Well, he was in the Hall of Fame anyway, believe me, but that was one of the finest moments I've ever seen. Let's take a look at this now. This is a battle for the lead. Ron Hornaday gets underneath Johnny Sauter. They're coming up on lap trucks, but Hornaday gets loose, gets sideways, has to chase it up the hill, and then make contact here. Michael, I don't know how these guys save these trucks.
The reason why that's a Hall of Fame move for Ron Hornaday is because Johnny Sauter saved his truck. If Sauter crashes, then it's a bonehead move by Hornaday, but Hornaday goes in there, runs into Sauter. They both do an amazing job of getting these trucks pointed in the right direction. So Johnny Sauter made Ron Hornaday even better than we thought he was.
And they finished 1-2, like they should have in that race.
And that was an amazing finish at Kansas. We're expecting a pretty good race here at Dover, so we look forward to that. Krista?
All right, thanks, guys. You know, taking care of our sponsors, always one of our favorite things to see. Kyle Busch and Taylor Malsom visited the Boeing plant in Seattle. Boeing, the largest builder of airplanes. Over 50 years ago, the employees there started a charitable program, now the largest employee-owned program of its kind. Taylor Malsom is carrying that Boeing ECF Puget Sound logo on his number 56 truck this week. And the employees are actually holding a kickoff where they are watching us from Seattle right now. So from one coast to another, we thank you. There's Taylor's truck there. More from Dover as we get ready to fire the engines for the Truck Series on Speed at Dover coming up. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. And by Herculiner truck bed liners. With Herculiner, the tough comes easy. Welcome back to the setup presented by Polaris. With high speeds on a high-banked concrete loop, the Monster Mile earns its name. Are you scared? Well, you should be. And welcome back to our perch outside the track. We have Miles the Monster staring us down, but as we said at the top of the show, we ain't scared. You know, last week watching that finish, actually 2 weeks ago in Kansas, you probably wondered, you were watching it on TV, Ron Hornaday, one of the first ones to go to victory lane to congratulate Johnny Sauter. But was Johnny Sauter giving him a high five or maybe a one-finger shake, especially if you know the history between these two? Recent history dating back to earlier this year.
You can see Ron sounded like he was pretty much off the throttle. He just coasted into him there, it looked like.
And here comes Johnny Sauter. Not happy with Ron Hornaday.
Martinsville was a deal where I think he was a little impatient, a little over-aggressive, maybe a little overzealous. There's still 25 laps to go. My truck wasn't handling as good. My stuff was wore out. If he would have been a little more patient, he would have got by me. You got to love Ron for the way he drives, and I think Ron's a cool guy. You got to have respect for him for everything he's accomplished. I mean, 4-time champion, he's won, I don't know, 50 races. There's a certain element of respect there that you've got to give the guy.
It's short track racing, I hate to say it, but I would definitely know I was faster than he was. I didn't have to hit him to pass him. It just he didn't go when I had to go. It makes for a long day. I mean, you have a truck, you get frustrated because you had a bad pit stop and you race yourself up to the front and you get taken out. And that's what Johnny was more bad about, knowing that he had a good truck. He could have finished in the top 3 or 4 and then he gets wrecked.
Both of them sideways. Sauter keeps it going straight. Hornaday's gonna save it. They stay 1 and 2.
First thing through my mind was, that son of a gun got me again, you know what I mean? And I've said that 1,000 times, but that's initially what you think about. So luckily it all worked out.
You get in there and just, you know, the truck snaps loose that quick and got up into Johnny and I think you guys seen the tape of it. It was pretty cool. It was, I'm just sure glad Johnny saved it. Yeah. You know, he's already mad at me for Martinsville, and then here we go racing hard again, and that's kind of more of a racing deal, and would have been good if he spun out.
I mean, there's no question about it. That was the save of a lifetime, you know. Everybody wants to win a race, but they also want to win a race with a cool ending, kind of like that. So that's just what do they call it, a feather in your cap. I mean, that's the way I look at it is, yeah, we won that race, but we had an awesome finish.
I ran over to Johnny after the race and just like, good job, buddy. I'm sure glad you saved it, because I really hate to have you mad at me for that. But, you know, going back to it, Johnny knows it was hard racing. It was a whole different scenario than Martinsville and stuff like that. So it was fun.
You know, when you fight and claw and dig to be competitive and try to win races, and somebody makes a mistake, and obviously the result isn't there that you want, you're pissed off, you know what I mean? You get mad about it. So should Ron be worried? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's one of the things that, you know, only the future knows.
Momentum certainly not a problem for this guy, Johnny Sauter. That win at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, qualified third for today's race. So what is the mindset of you and this team as you enter this afternoon's event?
You know, like you said, we made a huge stride the other week, picking up 9 places in the points. We're 5th in points now. So the mindset is to continue to win races and be competitive week in and week out. And everybody at ThorSport is stoked right now, and everybody's running well. So we just, you know, continue to run good week in and week out and try to win races along the way. And who knows, maybe with 5 races to go, we'll be in the hunt for a championship.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Johnny Sauter trying to make it 2 in a row.
Well, after a terrible start to the season, Ron Hornaday goes 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd. Is tonight the first win?
I sure hope so. These guys worked hard on this Longhorn Chevrolet, and we weren't good when we showed up, but they made it pretty good, and I wasn't ready for it for qualifying. So we'll see. We start 6th, and we're kind of optimistic, so we'll be all right.
You've won here, Ron, but you've also crashed hard. How tough is it to race here at Dover?
Well, we didn't have as much camber in it this weekend, so we made sure we kept the right front. That was our own fault last year. So we made sure we kept the camber out of it and made the truck turn in some other ways. So we're not worried about it. Goodyear brought a great tire this time, and I mean, the times are so close, so it's going to be a tough race tonight.
This guy was 28th in the points after Atlanta, all the way up to 4th.
Yeah, Ray, you can never count out Ron Hornaday. He is a former winner here, but as you heard mentioned throughout the show, a lot of big names have not won here. Sauter, Crafton, Skinner, even Bodine, all looking for their first win at Dover. Others in the field looking for their first career win, like Almirola. Could it be his day? We'll have to see. You know, Hornaday is under pressure, actually, in more ways than one. Tonight, he takes on the Monster, but tomorrow night, he and his buddy Ricky Carmichael wage a battle of wits. It's NASCAR Smarts on Speed Saturday at 6:30 Eastern. But first, it's time to head to the Monster Ball. The trucks go dancing on speed. We get closer next. The trucks are up first, but it's a full slate of racing here at Dover this weekend. In fact, all 3 of NASCAR Series, Trucks Today, Nationwide Saturday, and the Cup Series on Sunday. Don't forget to tune in to all of your favorite racing shows here at Dover. Next Friday, in addition to the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 on track from Charlotte, it's NASCAR Day. Be sure to get your pin on. Can't wait for that, but today it's all about the trucks racing at one of NASCAR's scariest tracks. No wusses allowed. It's called the Monster Mile for a reason. The trucks are the first to tackle it. The Dover 200 on Speed starts now.
The Monster Mile has earned its nickname for a couple of very good reasons.
What happens with a sense of urgency? The bumper becomes part of the game. Baby, yeah! Where the run, guys?
Kyle Busch is operating under a different set of rules.
Short track intensity with long track speeds.
This is really frustrating. First time at Dover.
Welcome to the Monster Mile, and welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Dover 200, presented on Speed by Pep Boys. A gorgeous afternoon for racing at Dover International Speedway. Let's get things underway with our pre-race ceremonies trackside.
And our national colors being presented today by the 2nd Battalion, 87th Infantry Regiment, part of the 10th Mountain Division of Fort Drum, New York, the U.S. Army Color Guard. And I present to you now, if you would please rise for our invocation and remain standing. I present to you Pastor Bill Roberts of the New Life Family Worship Center in Camden, Delaware, for today's invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for this race weekend. And Lord, we know that your hand is on each and every driver for protection. We thank you that you watch over them as they compete today and watch over all of these fans as well. And Father, we thank you for what you're going to allow us to experience this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
And today, in memory of the fallen brother Patrolman Chad Spicer, the Georgetown, Delaware Police Department would like to present Corporal Matthew Barlow to sing today's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Drivers and teams ready to get this one underway from Dover International Speedway. The drivers will climb in and get strapped in. We'll start the engines when we come back. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by Pep Boys. Pep Boys does everything for less. Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all your truck, tire, and towing needs. And by Touch of Gray. Gets rid of some of the gray, never all. And a gorgeous afternoon, late afternoon for racing here in Dover, Delaware, as the drivers are getting locked into their race trucks. Let's get the Polaris storylines from Chris Devoda.
All right, thanks, Rick. You know, the new Freddy Krueger movie is out in theaters, but forget about Elm Street. The real nightmare is on DuPont Highway, and it's about to begin. You know, it's already been a bit of a nightmare week for Ricky Carmichael. Blew up in practice, the team able to swap out the engine and put that truck back on track for qualifying, but it won't be back tonight. A backup for Carmichael after wrecking in qualifying. James Busher was in the Truck Series last year. He moved to the Nationwide cars this season, but now he is back in the trucks. He's in the field driving the 31 tonight. And it's a bittersweet day for Rick Crawford. The series veteran is here, but he's without a ride. Just the second time since 2005 he'll miss a race. 327 starts. This race certainly will not be the same without him. But it will be a thrilling day for one driver who will be in victory lane. Will it be a repeater or a first-time winner? Those are the storylines presented by Polaris. Rick, let's send it back over inside the track to you.
Thank you, Krista. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip with you. Now we come to the Monster Mile. We've raced here 10 times before. We've never had a repeat winner. Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday have that opportunity tonight to become a repeat winner. What is it going to take to get to victory lane for either one of those or any of the other 34 in the field?
I think it's going to take some adjustments, because when we were qualifying, the racetrack had hardly any rubber down. We just had a couple brief truck practices yesterday. All the Cup cars hadn't been out yet, nor the Nationwide cars. Since then, they've put a tremendous amount of rubber down to the racetrack. There was a racetrack before. That's when Ron Hornaday was qualifying. And look at the racetrack now. That black is rubber. This racetrack will not be like it was when they qualified this morning. So these crew chiefs are going to have to guess and going to have to continue to adjust these trucks throughout the race, Mikey.
That's certainly correct, Phil. There's so much more rubber on the track now than there was when they last practiced. And just think that will continue. There's going to be more and more. So a team on pit road, maybe it's 2 tires, maybe it's key adjustments throughout this race. That's what it's going to take. A team that's ready to adjust and ready to make changes. That's how you're going to get to victory lane today.
We've had 4 first-time winners right here at this very racetrack. Will it take a veteran move, or could we get our 5th first-time winner at Dover? We're about to find out. Let's get the engines fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to give the command, NASCAR legend and 7-time winner here at Dover, Mr. Bobby Allison.
Drivers, start your engine.
Bobby Allison giving the command, another one of those drivers that is destined to be in the Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina. About to go 200 laps at Dover. Welcome back. Truck's about to roll off of pit road for the Dover 200, presented on Speed by Pep Boys. 36 trucks rolling around this racetrack on a gorgeous afternoon, 86 degrees, sunny skies, and great racing, the forecast. Our starting grid will roll across the bottom of the screen. Again, up front, Kyle Busch trying to make it 3 times that someone has been able to start from the pole and win this race. Now we take a look at our Z-Max track description.
Unbelievable racetrack, Michael. You see 24-degree banking in the corners. We talk about it during our qualifying show. It's like a roller coaster. You leave and you lose your stomach, get down and turn in the turns, and then coming off the turn, you come back up over the hill.
And that ramp, that jump off into these turns is one of the most thrilling rides you'll ever get in a NASCAR race truck. I mean, these things are flying when they go down in the corner. And Phil, as soon as they land, these guys just plant their foot right back on the floorboard. There's a lot of speed here at Dover.
Now let's look at our Pep Boys race analysis. 36 trucks will be taking the green flag momentarily.
Yeah, pit strategy could really come into play here. You see our pit window 75 to 85 laps. NASCAR officials have actually given these guys extra tires for this race, because typically this racetrack really wears out tires, so the guys have a few more tires to work with.
Just recently, the last 2 winners at this racetrack have been first-time winners in the Truck Series. Tonight, our Speed Spotlight. We want to shine a light on a few drivers that could get their first wins at Dover, and we begin with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, I certainly think James Buescher would be on that list. He has won in just about everything he's climbed into. At the age of 16, he won in the ARCA Series, and he's a ripe old age of 20 now. They had planned on running every race in this season, but it didn't work out that way. But from this point forward, James Buescher will run the rest of the Camping World Truck Series season. And I believe that 31 truck is one we got to watch out for tonight. He could be another first-time winner. Adam?
When you look at the last 25 races or so in the Camping World Truck Series, one name has surfaced as a potential first-time winner. It's the driver you see on your screen, Taylor Molson. His closest opportunity last summer at Kentucky. He recorded a top 5 finish last fall at Gateway, but he's never been to victory lane. It would be special if he could do it here at the Monster. 4 other drivers have done so in their career. Phil?
Double A, I want to take a look at another non-winner here in the Camping World Truck Series, but this is only his 5th start, but it's Elliott Sadler. He has 3 Cup wins and 7 poles, 5 Nationwide wins with 5 poles. He's got the Insignia TV Best Buy Chevrolet out of KHI Stables. And remember, this truck actually leads the owner points right now by 9 over that truck inside of him, the 18 of Kyle Busch. Elliott Sadler looking to become the 20th driver ever to win in all 3 of the major divisions of NASCAR. He starts from the outside of the front row, Mikey.
Phil, let's look at 26-year-old Eric Almirola. Eric is starting in the 7th spot. He's finished 2nd in the series twice. He has a nationwide win. He got up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know, this truck is on the verge of winning. We know that. He's 3rd in the points. He's starting up at 7th. Like I said, I think you're going to have to watch this guy and beat this guy before this day is over.
We've got the opportunity to ride along with a few different drivers, one of those being the number 3 of Austin Dillon. He's going to start in the 12th position. We see from his vantage point, he's going to have his hands full tonight.
We're also going to ride along with a tire monkey, Mario Gosselin. Mario starts in the 17th position. That team continues to get better and better with each race.
I said you're going to have to watch this guy. Well, let's ride along with him. This is Eric Almirola starting in 7th spot in the Toyota onboard on the Graceway Pharmaceuticals AK Awareness Toyota.
And Matt Crafton will start in the 9th position as he will try to get to the front, bring his Menards number 88 Chevrolet up there to challenge with Kyle Busch and Elliott Sadler, who will bring this field to the green flag. Let's head back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, you know, when we start trying to pick a winner here, I think Michael's on to something. Eric Almirola might be right on the verge of getting his first victory. He's got a couple of second-place finishes. But Billy Ballou Motorsports has one particular truck that they really, really love. I talk about it quite a bit, and it's chassis number 11. Tonight is its 23rd race, and guess what? It has 10 victories, 9 with Kyle Busch and 1 with Shane Meal. Eric Almirola hopes that tonight is another one in the win column. I believe they've got a good enough truck. I believe they've got a good enough driver. Keep your eye peeled on 51. Adam?
Ray, to say Kyle Busch has been dominant this weekend in Camping World Truck Series competition would be an understatement. He was quickest in both practice sessions here yesterday, and earlier this afternoon he won his first career Dover pole in the Truck Series. But it will be tough to go to victory lane. Why? History says so. It's only been done twice in the first 2 races ever held here. The first to do it, older brother Kurt in 2000, and Scott Riggs did it in 2001. We'll see if Kyle can handle that duty this afternoon. 1 to go, Rick.
One more time around before we get the green flag and get underway with racing here at the Monster Mile. Now, how big of a change will it be for them to dive into turn number 1 for the first time with all this new rubber on the racetrack?
Well, you know, Phil, they woke up this morning at 10 o'clock and had to run wide open in qualifying. That's probably one of the biggest challenges of the whole year, especially the way you have to attack this track here at Dover. But now they've stood around all day. They've watched Cup cars practice and qualify. They've watched Nationwide cars. Man, these guys are ready to go. They're going to dig when they go down into turn 1.
Hey, you remember when we interviewed Elliott Sadler after qualifying and he had to catch his breath? Well, he's going to have to breathe along with these other guys because they're going to be going around here 200 times in 24.5 seconds each lap.
One of the 3 racetracks that is a concrete racetrack, Nashville and Bristol the other 2. And here are the guys who do well on concrete. Hornaday and Busch both with 4 wins on concrete racing surfaces. So those 2 guys could be your favorites, and of course coming in here they are the only 2 that have won at this racetrack before that could be repeat winners. We've never had one here at Dover.
Yeah, and those 3 guys have won on all 3 of the concrete tracks. So you always got to consider when Kyle Busch shows up in one of these trucks, he's a threat to win.
And he's probably going to have a pretty good history if he shows up, because he's done well ever since he showed up in the world of NASCAR. This track is concrete, but Phil, like you pointed out in the pre-race, look how dark this track is rubbering in. It's the most rubber I've seen on this racetrack as a race started. So this thing will race a whole lot like an asphalt track this afternoon.
Kyle Busch on the inside, Elliott Sadler on the outside. They'll race also on Sunday. We'll see how they do on Friday night from Dover International Speedway. Green flags in the air.
Kyle Busch has wasted no time. He led both practice sessions, sat on the pole, and now he's leading this lap going in turn 1.
Everyone in the garage said that they were the barometer. How to measure your vehicle against the best is to look at what Kyle Busch was able to do and if you can stay with him. And right now, coming after lap number 1, it looks like it is going to be a task that they will all have to take on.
Ron Hornaday has already made a move. He got by the 15 truck of Johnny Benson to take over that 4th spot.
These guys are all a little bit nervous right now, making sure they've got a good setup under them. Truck needs to be pretty loose, Phil, at this stage of the race to ensure that you can keep it turning for the whole 200 laps. So guys are feeling out what they got, especially back in traffic. You can see Skinner here on the outside. Almirola looking down underneath him. Can he complete the pass getting into 1?
Preferred line going to Eric Almirola. Skinner has to get out of the gas a little bit as Almirola is able to go right by, and now that opens the door for the 30 of Todd Bodine.
The nice thing about having that rubber down on the racetrack, the groove is already widened out here, so these guys, you can go side by side, as we see Mike Skinner doing it on the outside right now.
Skinner trying to battle back on the outside, Bodine on the inside. There we see Johnny Sauter and Ron Hornaday, them those two drivers involved in an amazing finish to last week's race.
The last time these two guys were close to each other, they were completely sideways crashing at Kansas.
And it was the best racing I've seen in my whole life. It was crazy. I love a green, white, checkered late in a race, but I don't think I could have handled one after that. Those guys run into each other sideways with just a couple of laps to go.
Trouble already. Problems on the racetrack. The 47 gets turned around, and so Brett Butler, and also it looks like Justin Lofton's going to back it into the wall.
That's Donnie Neuenberger.
Donnie Neuenberger.
Truck. And unfortunately, those two drivers are teammates, both out of Rick Ware's stables. So
that was a costly lap for Rick Ware. You're right,
Phil. A lot of damage to Donnie's truck. He had a top 10 finish this year earlier at Daytona.
This time. You have to figure maybe Neuenberger let off the gas and.
Hey guys, we need to come in here.
And possibly someone got into the back of him. Either that or these straightaways are banked so much, Phil. If you abruptly hop out of the gas, the back end will just come around on you. That could have possibly happened as well.
And he may have hit the brakes at the same time, which would really accelerate that situation.
It was folding underneath Brett Butler's number 47. Donnie Neuenberger in the 6 with extensive damage to the back of that truck.
Would you believe Kyle Busch in his brief career has just passed Mike Bliss for the 5th all-time in laps led in the Camping World Truck Series?
Yeah, you know who has the record and about what number he is as far as laps led in this series? The name probably is easy.
I got to say Ron Hornaday.
Ron Hornaday is the name, and he is closing in on 9,000 laps.
You can see on the top of the screen there, Brett Butler was down under another truck. He got loose because he was pinched down on the inside. Looked like Donnie Neuenberger ran up on another truck maybe and got on the brakes to keep from hitting the other truck. You see Butler sideways there in the corner. Let's watch for the 6th truck of Neuenberger.
Yeah, we see it happen so many times when you have a truck on the inside. Watch Donnie now. He's coming off the corner now, the red and white truck. He saw that truck in front of him. He turned left to try to avoid that truck and then lost control.
This will be a better view of it, hopefully up top. You can see Neuenberger coming off the corner. He's closing fast on Jen Cobb, and he turns to keep from hitting her. And then around he goes.
As you mentioned, the banking of the straightaway is really what contributed to that, him being involved in this situation.
And man, that's a great picture there of what a safer barrier does. Did you see the 6 truck clobber that safer barrier and the way that barrier absorbed the impact, stretched the impact out over a period of time, lessening the blow that's delivered to the driver. Check this out. Let's watch this barrier give.
That's exactly what that thing is for. That's what it was designed for. And what a tremendous job that barrier does. And you know, you used to come here and just dread possibly blowing our right front tire. Not that it's any fun now, but it's a whole lot less than it used to be.
A couple of guys had some career-ending crashes here, broken bones. You hit a wall here at Dover back when the walls were concrete. That's what I'm going to tell my kids about one day. Man, Daddy used to race when the walls were concrete. Can you believe that?
When you didn't have to walk to school both ways uphill in the snow?
We did a little bit of that too.
So the work being done on the number 6 of Donnie Neuenberger involved in this first caution, as well as Brett Butler. 2 trucks bringing out our first caution on lap number 5, the Dover 200. Wednesday night, NASCAR's best pit crews get their chance to shine in the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge. The competition will be intense with pride and cash on the line. Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint Crew Challenge. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, part of All-Star Week on Speed.
Double file restart, so Kyle Busch had driven off to a pretty healthy little lead, but that's all the race now. He's even got the 2nd place guy right up beside him.
The red restart, it will be 9 or 8 laps complete. We'll be going for lap number 9 of 200. Kyle Busch back in the gas, green flag back in the air. Elliott Sadler trying to hang on. Ron Hornaday with a good restart. He's right on the back bumper of Kyle. That will hang out the number 2 of Elliott Sadler.
How about Ron Hornaday taking advantage of his teammate starting on the outside? Ron jumps into the 2nd spot.
Yeah, from 6th to 2nd in less than 10 laps. So obviously Ron's got something that he wants to show young Mr. Busch when he gets there.
We'll see if Hornaday is able to stay with Kyle. Kyle was able to put about a 2nd between himself and Elliott Sadler on the first start of this race.
Right now we have teammates running 2nd and 3rd, Hornaday and Sadler. Teammates running 4th and 5th, Sauter and Crafton. And teammates running 6th and 7th, Benson and Almirola.
Kyle Busch is thinking, where's my teammate?
I was going to say, and at the same time, they're all in it for themselves. Right.
Just want to give you an update real quick on Johnny Sauter. He was dragging the splitter through the center of the corner. Said, I think we're going to have to make an adjustment here. Crew Chief Joe Shear said, pit right now. Johnny said, I do not want to pit this early, even to fix this thing. To get back in the back of the pack right now would be way too dangerous. I'll just deal with it for a while. They about decided to pit at the very last second, then realized it was one to go. Sauter stayed on the racetrack. Adam?
And Mike Skinner battling a tight handling race truck. He's a driver that has had a great deal of success at Dover over the years. He started 5th, currently running in the 9th position. And I'm curious from both Michael and Phil, when these guys practiced yesterday, no rubber on the racetrack. The Nationwide Series and Sprint Cup teams have been on track today, laying down a lot of rubber. Can that tighten up the Monster Mile?
Adam, it definitely can and has. Historically, the more rubber you put down, the tighter it gets. And Michael, you mentioned earlier, it almost drives like an asphalt track because it gets tighter as you put more rubber down. But I was talking to Gene Need, Mike Skinner's crew chief, before the race, and he said, I think we're going to be too tight. I'm really worried we're going to be too tight. I said, why? He said, I've got too much right front spring in that truck. I said, why do you have it? He said, I can't keep it off the racetrack without that much right front spring.
Yeah, and his fears have come to fruition. Phil, I've watched him Mike Skinner try to get off that second corner 2 or 3 times and lost all his momentum from a push off the corner. And Austin Dillon is all over the back of him now trying to make that move. The guy here that seems to have things going his way pretty well, he drove away from Elliott Sadler on the first start of the race, and on the restart, he's driven away from Ron Hornaday.
We mentioned earlier that Kyle Busch took over the lead, or took over 5th all-time in lap leader, 2,590 laps led so far in the Camping World Truck Series, and he's not done yet.
No, he will lead quite a few more laps. We see Matt Crafton holding on to the 5th spot now. His teammate Johnny Sauter just in front of him. There's Taylor Malsom, Max Pappas, Jay White, Justin Lofton. These four
good
trucks.
battle right here. Justin Lofton's got a run on the bottom on Jason White. It looked like Jason got a little bit tight off 4, and Justin had a great run, was able to pinch it down, but now Jay's got her wound up on the high side. That's the beauty part of this racetrack. If your truck is too tight on the bottom, you can start wandering around and looking for some grip in other places. There's lots of room to adjust your line to accommodate whatever your truck's lacking.
And this is one racetrack that's a little bit different. You get in the throttle in the center of the corner, and if your truck is too tight or really too loose, you'll have to pedal back off the throttle as you exit the corner. There aren't that many racetracks that are like that now, but this is one of those racetracks that has been like that since we started here.
Yeah, you dive down in the corner, you'll get back in the gas and maybe run wide open across the middle of the corner, Phil, and then roll off the gas and get it aimed to come back up off the turn. So you're right, it's very unique the way you drive this racetrack, depending on what kind of shape your truck is in and whether the back's wanting to step out or if you're losing the front end.
You see our 5th place truck right there, Matt Crafton. Just a few moments ago, he was racing really hard with his teammate Johnny Sauter. Got maybe a little bit too close to the wall here. Watch this view here coming off turn number 4.
Oh, it's not too close. He actually hit it.
Yeah. I would call that too close.
You can see the paint flakes coming off of the wall.
Here's from his onboard camera right here. There's the little bang here, and that's pretty incidental contact here for Dover.
Adam Alexander.
I was standing down here on the front straightaway and watched that happen, and Rick, it didn't look incidental. In fact, I was thinking to myself, I'm glad he's driving and not me. But on the radio, Matt said the truck feels stable, and Tabloid, his spotter, said the right side of the machine appears to be fine, no serious damage. The 88 soldiers on inside the top 10, and now we have a caution.
James Busher sideways. We've got Stacy Compton also sliding sideways. He had contact from the back. You can see that.
Yeah, he got clobbered when he slowed down for the crash. There was a bunch of trucks bearing down on Busher when he...
Be careful, left front's down, left front.
There's James Busher right there, the Wolfpack Reynolds Chevrolet. We saw Taylor Malsom do all he could to avoid hitting James Busher. And fortunately for Taylor and for James, he was able to avoid him. There's Taylor right there. I'm sure he flat spotted those front tires, though.
Yeah, and Busher was running in the 12th spot, so we had a good, solid run going. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. He's off 2 here.
We're going to look to the outside of David Starr in the 81 truck. David, I don't think realized he was there, and he got him squeezed up a little bit. That's what happened.
Jennifer Joe Cobb in the 10 was down at the bottom, and you had 2 guys racing for position. Neither wanted to give.
Yeah, we're 20 laps into this race. You know, discretion's a better part of valor right now.
Especially if you're Stacy Compton thinking, I wish these guys had to work this out on their own.
There's another view right there.
You know, it's just like you said, Phil, we're a little bit too early. Either one of those guys could have avoided that accident. Unfortunately, both of them decided they were going to get in that hole. And if one of them had a given, obviously this early in the race. The reason why James was in that position was because he got pinched off coming off turn 2. Had a great run on the high side coming off turn 2.
Look at Taylor Malsom lock the brakes up and how long he did it here to just barely avoid Buescher.
But those guys are going to be able to get some fresh tires and still be in this battle. Both of them have good trucks.
And remember, Goodyear gave these guys an extra 1.5 sets of tires. There's the contact right there that turned Stacy Compton around. Was it a tire monkey got him?
Looks like the 12 of Mario Goslin was behind the 60.
Well, there's no way that Taylor would have suspected, I don't think, that James was going to make that big dive for the corner. I mean, he came from way up high to try to close that door, and there just wasn't room there for him.
On to pit road, we have a few trucks decided to make their way down and have some adjustments made. Adam.
And you said it, Rick, a number of different strategies playing out. I was listening to Matt Crafton, who was going to come down pit road and at the last minute decided to stay on the racetrack. Among the drivers on pit road making adjustments and getting tires, Timothy Peters and Johnny Benson, and it looks like Johnny Sauter in as well, Ray.
Yeah, Maya and Adam, they are putting rounds in the front to try to raise up the front suspension to get his splitter off of the racetrack. They'll also come back and make a few other adjustments. A track bar adjustment. We saw the 51 down here getting right side tires, also tires for Todd Bodine on the number 30. Quite a few trucks taking advantage here in the early stages at lap 21.
So turn 3 and 4 have been tough for a few different drivers. Here's that contact with Mario Goslin getting into the 60 of Stacy Compton, doing some damage to the back of that truck. They'll have to get that body work straightened out before we go back green. Welcome back to Dover International Speedway as we're getting ready for the restart of the Dover 200 presented on Speed by Pep Boys. And now joining us in the booth, the guy who won this race a year ago, Brian Scott. Congratulations. That was your first truck win, and now you've moved on to the Nationwide Series. What can you tell us about what a guy needs to do to win at this racetrack?
Well, I'm watching. Last year it was about tire conservation, and Goodyear's bought back a great tire this year. The guys are not complaining about tire wear. I talked to Jeff Hensley earlier, the crew chief on Timothy Peters' truck this year, and he was my crew chief last year. He made some amazing calls that helped us get the win, and he said tire wear is really not an issue, so that's actually going to play into the game as far as maybe later in the race guys will take 2 tires or no tires, which wasn't even an option last year. Every 30 laps if caution came out, guys were coming into pit and guys were blowing tires left and right, so it's adding a whole new element to this race. Same with double file restarts. Their guys are getting really racy out there, and it's really exciting to watch.
What's it like when you fly off into that first turn for the first time after waiting around all day watching everybody else race? Were those guys on the chip when they headed down to turn 1?
Yeah, I can tell you it's really exciting in these Camping World trucks. They have so much downforce, they can go around the corner really, really fast, and they don't even have to get out of the throttle much. They just stay in it and they dig, and I tell you, it's an exhilarating experience. Your heart and your stomach, everything is telling you a lot of different things about this isn't possible. How can I be doing this?
You know, Brian was up here just for a few minutes before we got him on the air here, and he said he hit that inside wall that we were talking about before the safety barrier and broke that inside wall. So that's how hard that thing is.
I love seeing the new safer barrier here as they go back green, because I took a really hard hit there, and seeing Donnie Neuenberger back it in and seeing it give, and knowing that was a lot softer impact made me really happy.
Kyle Busch has been out front since the drop of the original green flag. Now as we're on lap 25.
How about this 3 wide racing getting in turn number 3 now?
It doesn't normally work, and we saw that just moments ago that it didn't work. Now Jay White and the 46 get it straightened out. That's Terry Jones in the 46 this week. They continue to try to go 3 wide on this racetrack.
Yeah, Johnny Benson in the 15 truck was hung in behind him for a moment. Then he pulled out from around him.
That's a past champion move. He was 3 wide on the outside, and he made the smartest decision and just backed out of it. He was not in position.
Timothy Peters, our point leader, on the inside of Terry Jones.
There's Ricky Carmichael. Remember, we saw Ricky Carmichael crash qualifying, had to go to a backup truck, started the very, very back. Right now, he's running up in the top 20.
You see the tire monkey truck of Mario Goslin. He's down on the inside of Taylor Mawson. There's the move to the bottom. He's right behind Ricky Carmichael. Ricky's had a rough weekend so far, but smooth sailing right now. Phil, he's got that truck. Looks like he's got it smoothed out and running a lot better than he did this morning.
He's really done a nice job this year, too. His second year, going to run full-time here in the Truck Series. Really doing a nice job. Top 10 finishes already this year.
Ricky was really a victim of unforeseen circumstances in practice. I guess a piece of lead fell off another truck and went through the front of his, knocked the oil pan, knocked everything off, and they were well, after qualifying, they were forced to go to backup, but that's just unfortunate.
Well, that was a close move there for Taylor Mossam. Did you see that, Phil? He was down under the 12 Tire Monkey truck of Mario Goslin. He got sideways. Luckily, he didn't overcorrect that truck and get into Goslin. That could have caused a big crash right off turn 2.
Yeah, I really thought that might happen. We see the trucks on the inside get loose so often. You see Ricky Carmichael make the move on the 95 truck of Tim Andrews. Take a look at this right side of your screen. Look at Taylor. Look how out of shape he is.
But look at the job he did. He never overcorrected that truck.
Most times that guy would overcorrect and catch the left rear corner of that 12 truck and turn them both around.
You see what he was doing, man. That was cool. He was feeling to that wheel. He was giving a little bit and taking it away, giving a little bit and taking it away. I love the job he did to save that truck and keep from causing further problems.
Eric Almirola, Justin Lofton.
That's a battle for the 6th position right there. Justin doing a nice job. A number of trucks made their way to pit road. Several of the trucks running up front right now stayed on the racetrack.
Adam Alexander, how has Justin Lofton done early in this race?
I think they've done a really nice job. Lofton, not a guy that qualified particularly well earlier today. Started 19th in that 7 truck, but a little pit strategy, staying out on this first opportunity this afternoon. And he says the truck is tight, but we know track position is huge. Good to see the youngster getting some seat time near the front of the field, Ray.
Up at the front, you see Ron Hornaday trailing behind Kyle Busch. He's a little bit snug off the corner, and he came on the radio and told his crew chief, Doug George, I'd like to make an adjustment. But Rick Corelli came on the radio and said, we are not pitting if the 18 does not. We're going to stay on the same strategy as him today. We'd like to beat him on the racetrack with similar strategies. So it appears that the 33 is going to mirror whatever the 18 does throughout the day today.
Ron Hornaday about a second and a half behind our leader, Kyle Busch. One guy that's doing a terrific job early on is Austin Dillon. Running in the 5th position there, chasing down that 88 of Matt Crafton.
How many times have we said that this year? Early in the season, this young man just gets it. He's figured out how to race this truck competitively, keep himself out of trouble since his early problems at the Daytona race. He's been able just to be steady and smooth and really impressive, Phil.
Yeah, once we left Daytona, he's had every finish in the top 16, including a 6th at Kansas last time out for his career best.
Just a few laps ago, take a look at these trucks.
Watch what happened.
Johnny Sauter getting a little shove from the 30. Well, that was just recently. He did that earlier to the 23. Take a look.
Well, the 23 slid up the hill in front of Todd, and Todd couldn't quite get under him, so he just hit him. But you know, that's sort of a message that he sent to Jason White, saying, "Man, what are you pulling up in front of me for?"
Now Bodine's able to make the pass on the 23 as he tries to stay on that back bumper of the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
These are all trucks that made their way down pit road on lap number 21 and trying to work their way back towards the front. David Starr's another one of those trucks battling side by side with his teammate Mike Skinner in the 5.
David Starr a year ago here, he had a really good run, and he got a flat tire late in the race. I actually inherited the lead from him with like 12 laps to go. He was really fast. He had to come in late, and he even made a really good charge up through the field and ended up finishing top 5, I think.
Battle for the 5th position. Eric Almirola takes it away from Austin Dillon.
That truck's been really good in the long run, even in practice, Rick, as they would put 20, 30 laps on their tires. The 51 truck of Eric Almirola had something for Kyle Busch. He could run lap times that were comparable to Kyle. So he's doing just what we expected him to do, starting to work his way through this field as we get some laps on the tires.
Brian, we really questioned you guys' move last year of staying out. We thought there's no way you can stay out and still win this race, but you managed to stay out front and stay in front of everybody to get that first win.
Yeah, well, it didn't seem like it was that crazy to us. We had really good tire wear the whole race, even though teams were blowing tires. It had us a little worried, but we felt really good about how we were wearing our front tires and how it was, and the fact that I'd just been kind of riding and getting ready for the end of the race. And I think Jeff Hensley made absolutely the perfect call to stay out. Ended up winning us the race, and man, that was really, really cool.
We see Kyle Busch making his way around the slower lap traffic. Kyle Busch trying to make history here at Dover. We've never had a repeat winner at the Monster Mile. Could Kyle Busch do that today? Well, he's well on his way as he has a 7/10 of a second lead over second place Ron Hornaday. The Monster Mile is always action-packed from the drop of the green flag. Thus far, we've seen 2 and 3 wide. Some have handled it, some haven't. Kyle Busch still dominating up front. Stay with us here at Dover. Be your biggest race fan with Verizon Championship Racing at the track and on your phone. From nationwide and IndyCar driver meet and greets to exclusive peeks inside the Penske garage, right on your VCast phone. We're your hard card to racing nirvana, only from the network for the most 3D coverage, Verizon. Welcome back to Dover International Speedway. Kyle Busch continues to dominate, and Brian Scott up here in the booth with us, and I know that you've got to run out of here. You've got a lot of sponsor things that you have to work on, so we want to thank you for being here with us, the defending race winner of this very race.
Well, it's cool to be able to come up here and see what you guys do. It's a little bittersweet. I can't be out there defending my title, but really excited about tonight. Get to run over the Dover Air Force Base just a couple minutes from here and get to say hello to our armed forces and everybody that helps us do what they do. The Dover Air Force Base here, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's incredible. It is really, really cool, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Very good. Again, thank you for joining us up here. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck tomorrow in the nationwide
Thank you.
race.
Phil, you too. You got a couple cars in it.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Ron Hornaday running second, but he is 1.6 seconds behind Kyle Busch. So again, Busch setting a blistering pace here at the Monster Mile. Elliott Sadler's dropped back to third, Crafton fourth, and Almirola in fifth.
That battle for third's really heating up, guys. Matt Crafton and Eric Almirola have closed right in on Elliott Sadler. You can see there are 3 trucks for that third spot.
Remember, Matt Crafton bounced off the wall earlier. Did not affect that truck adversely because he did not come down the pit road on lap 21 when he had an opportunity to, Adam.
And he had most recently on the radio, Phil, said that the truck is very neutral. And if you know Matt at all and you know his personality on the radio, he is not afraid to express his displeasure to crew chief Bud Hafley about the handling of his truck. But he's been very satisfied here this afternoon. That despite the fact this thing was not very good in practice. They made a number of changes, and apparently they have dialed it in. He likes where he is, Ray.
And just ahead of Matt Crafton is that number 2 of Elliott Sadler. He is a little bit snug off the corner, guys, so he is saying that 1 and 2 corners not terrible, but at 3 and 4, he really doesn't like the way the truck rolls through the center. Going to turn the right rear brake fan off and see if that helps him just a little bit. Bright green paint scheme on that number 2. Elliott Sadler qualified second, currently running third.
He's running up the hill too, Phil. He's trying a different groove. You know, he said he wasn't quite happy with the way the truck was turning the center, and that's why you see Elliott trying to figure out if there's more grip as he slides up the hill.
And that's where, that's where that experience comes in. Looks like David Starr had a moment here. Had Johnny Benson, the 15, on the inside, and Mike Skinner on the outside.
Now Timothy Peters on the outside, that number 15.
These
Johnny
guys,
Benson able to clear them. Mike Skinner getting by as well.
Guys working through some lap traffic. This track is really a lot about momentum, Phil. You have to be down on the gas so much. If you catch a lap truck in the wrong place and you lose that momentum, or if you get a run on a guy and your front end gets to push a little bit and you get tight and you have to let off the gas, man, you can lose a half a straightaway in one of those moments as you described.
Yeah. And if you catch traffic or lap traffic the wrong way,
trouble. Max Pappas off turn 2.
Hard contact.
Max Pappas has a problem with the right front, blew the tire, got into the wall.
Yeah, I'm okay.
And you got the response
Like
there.
the right front went down.
Yeah,
okay.
That's hard contact for that Geico truck.
He was running in the 10th spot.
Been a tough day all around for Max. Unfortunately, was not able to qualify for the Sprint Cup race this weekend. But just here, just trying to get experience, gain experience. He's getting better and better and better. And he was really doing a nice job in this truck running in the top 10. It looks like the right front tire went down.
So our third caution of the day comes out. This time it's Max Pappas. We take a look.
Oh, yeah. That's a wrong place to have that happen, too, man. He's just along for the ride. And these guys now have 50-some laps on tires. It'll be interesting when they pit for our pit reporters to get a look at these tires. Is there going to be right front issues? We didn't think so.
There's another shot of that safer barrier giving, too, because fortunately for Max, he was able to hit that safer barrier. We heard him say, I'm all right, and just didn't even knock the wind out of him. And that wouldn't have been like that 4 or 5 years ago.
That's exactly right, Phil. The advancements made in safety for this series has just been unbelievable. To be able to crash like that at Dover and roll to pit road, I'm okay.
You know, we documented the fact that Ricky Carmichael's had a tough weekend. Well, we're going to give him a duck. Well, Aaron's is going to give him a lucky dog. We're not going to have anything to do with it. But Aaron's is going to give him a lucky dog and put him back on the lead lap. How about that?
Well, things are starting to go in a better direction for Ricky because it's all been bad so far. Now he's going to get back on the lead lap, get a chance to rebound. He's been solid this year. Now he's got another chance to get a good solid finish. These guys will come to pit road. Here they come, Phil.
Carmichael running in the 19th position. Kyle Busch making his way onto pit road. Here they come, Adam.
And a great start for Matt Crafton. We talked about the fact that he hit the wall. It may have knocked this thing right where he wanted it. The word on the radio, absolutely no changes. He started 9th, he's up to 4th. They will go 4 tires and fuel and leave it alone. Very nice to see Crafton doing a good job in the early going for his 3rd consecutive sixth or better finish here at Dover, Ray.
In the middle of your screen, you see Ron Hornaday. He had started to get a new line on the racetrack, still just a little bit snug, so they make an air pressure adjustment on that right front, and he's going to go with 4 tires. Top of your screen, Kyle Busch, the leader. He's been dominating. Kyle said it's starting to get a little loose late in the run. Track bar adjustment for the number 18. He'll easily be the first off pit road. Hornaday second, the 2 truck right behind.
Greg Almirola also involved in that race off of pit road.
As well as the 81 of David Starr.
I think he must have got, maybe, did he get 2 tires?
I would think maybe a little tire strategy there for David Starr.
So Kyle Busch will lead the field off of pit road. The Reese Warner, our 3rd caution, coming out of turn number 2. Blown right front tire. Max Pappas into the safer barrier.
It's Camping World's Destination Recreation.
You know, when you're going up and down the highway in one of these big RVs, you need as much information as possible. And I want to know as the driver that I've got good tire pressure and excellent temperatures. Now, this little unit right here will give me all that information. You see, the receiver stays up in the cockpit by you, but on each and every one of the tires, you put this little sending unit right on the end of the valve stems, and it takes the information back to that receiver. Now, of course, you'll notice that we've got Goodyear tires on this RV. Of course, they're the official supplier of NASCAR. And when you come to Camping World, they've got every size Goodyear tire you could possibly need.
The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back, and it's better than ever. More prizes and more chances to win. To enter, see the complete prize descriptions and the official rules. Visit campingworld.com/racing.
They gave away a Class A camper last year.
They did, to a fan and to Ron Hornaday.
That's right.
We had quite a few trucks on pit road. Let's get some updates. Adam Alexander.
And we talked about some of the varying strategies, Rick, when the caution came out and everyone came down pit road, or most everyone at lap 21. When that happened, David Starr came down and got 4 tires. So when he made his stop at lap 54, he went fuel only. That is why he will restart inside the top 5. Ray?
Elliott Sadler rolled in 3rd place. He went out exactly the same. They got 4 tires on that number 2 truck, a half a pound into the right rear, and also a track bar adjustment. He says he likes the way the truck is handling, just cruising around for right now. He said, don't worry, we're going to be good. And I have a feeling Harvick's smiling watching us run side by side.
The 07 of Donnie Leah stayed out on the racetrack, and that enabled him to get the wave around. So that puts 20 trucks on the lead lap.
You know, Michael, we were talking about that right front tire that blew out on Max's truck. Not only are these crew chiefs looking very closely at the tires they took off of their truck, I'm sure they want to see what happened to that tire that came off of Max's truck.
Well, there's a lot of things that can contribute to a tire blowing. So obviously, if you run over something, there's nothing you can do about that. But your setup, what kind of right front suspension you're running over there, how much camber you got laid into that tire, your air pressure. So everybody, I think when you blow a tire, especially at a place like Dover, they begin to second guess what they got in the front of their car and when they need to get tires. Everybody was very comfortable and confident with this amazing tire that Goodyear has brought here. You could see the rubber laid down into the racetrack, and these teams really were excited about what they were going to have to race with. But now there might be a little bit of doubt in their mind after Max blew that tire.
You know, remember last year, or anytime, these trucks run so much faster through the center of the corner than the Sprint Cup cars or even the Nationwide cars. So they put a lot of load on these tires in the center of the corner with these trucks.
Green flag back in the air. Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday 1 and 2 when they took the green. Let's see if Elliott Sadler takes advantage of that inside line. Looks as though Hornaday will hold on a second.
I think that was a situation where Elliott Sadler let his teammate go ahead and have that position.
And look
How about
there.
this now?
Kyle Busch on the bottom. Ron Hornaday on the outside. He tried to get by him through 3 and 4.
Can Hornaday get the lead? He needs those 5 points.
He didn't get on that lap.
More importantly, I think he wants to show Kyle Busch there's another guy in this race. Kyle's had this thing all to himself out front so far, but Ron's on the outside challenging for the lead.
Some good stuff right here now.
Ron Hornaday had problems here a year ago. Really set him back. after getting in an accident on lap 34.
Kyle got loose there, wiggled off of turn 4. That slowed his momentum just enough to allow Hornaday to get out front.
Hornaday led the lap, so he gets 5 bonus points, and now he is pacing the field here at the Monster Mile.
Wow, that's some good racing right there. Kyle was trying to keep the lead down on the bottom, but he got sideways. Ron drove away.
Todd Bodine takes the position away from David Starr.
Remember, David did not put tires on. He put tires on back at lap number 21. Adam reported that he just did fuel only this last pit stop.
And Kyle Busch right back by the 33 of Hornaday. So Kyle Busch didn't want to follow anyone around this racetrack.
Elliott Sadler laying. I think Kyle's saying, I'm back. Elliott Sadler laying right there watching those two go at each other.
Could that be a situation? I mean, I realize it sounds crazy, but to see if Kyle Busch, how his truck handled behind another truck?
No, Ron Hornaday is
just so good.
But Ron Hornaday is that good on restarts. It's not only the way he shifts his gears, Rick, it's the way he runs those first 2 or 3 turns after they say go. And he just got to run off turn 2 and drove up on the outside of Kyle Busch.
It's what he gets out of his truck, especially right after a restart. Now, Kyle Busch may very well just drive away from him, but for those couple 3 laps with Ron Hornaday up on the wheel, he was able to drive by him. And remember, Kyle got loose off of 4 there, or Ron Hornaday may not have gotten by him.
And you have Dunlap. What's going on with the 18 team?
Well, Rick, it's a carburetor issue. On the restarts, Kyle says right down in the notes, carb issue. I don't like the jet. So there's something there on the very first couple laps, and he just came on the radio to tell Eric Phillips, same thing again when we restarted there. It just won't go when I'm coming up through the gears. So apparently restarts are where he's a bit vulnerable.
The word for Kyle Busch if we have a restart late in the race.
Late in the going, these guys might want to know that information.
Kyle Busch has been out front every lap but 2 so far. Hornaday's been able to pace him twice around the Monster Mile as we're getting done with lap 65 here in Dover, Delaware. Tonight's Speed presents the life of Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator. Feared on the track and fearless behind the wheel, he was one of NASCAR's greatest champions. Don't miss the NASCAR Hall of Fame biography of Dale Earnhardt tonight at 11 p.m. exclusively on Speed.
You see the back of that number 3 truck right there, honoring Dale Earnhardt Sr. That's Austin Dillon, Richard Childress' grandson, doing a terrific job running that truck right now. And they're going to honor Dale Sr. on one of the 5 inductees in the very first class of the Hall of Fame. And what a neat experience that was last Tuesday when that grand opening occurred, Michael.
Yeah, it just it means so much to our sport. You know, we're a relatively young sport, but there's folks walking around on this earth that were around when it all started, and to be able to go there and celebrate the men and women that have made this sport what it is today, it's just such a touching moment to stand there and just think back of the history of our wonderful sport.
Surprisingly enough, this is actually the first start in the Truck Series at Dover for Richard Childress Racing.
Yeah, Richard
just started in 2000.
Right, Richard ran Mike Skinner back in 95 and 96, and then he ran Jay Sauter. So he ran the several years early in the history of the series, but was not around in 2000 with a truck. So this is his first time. Take it easy on that right rear tire. We'll take it easy on the right rear tire. That's good. That's good advice, and taking it easy on the right front's probably good advice too, isn't it?
We need a little bit more information about these tires. I think we had a 50-lap run, but there was a caution in the middle of that. So any long run without a caution, these guys are going to start to wonder what they have underneath them. Are these tires really going to be able to hold up? So far, they've looked really impressive, but can they stand up to all this speed, Rick? That's what the challenge is. These things, like Phil said, are just going so fast right through the middle of the corner when it's loaded up the very most.
I mean, they're averaging 155 miles an hour around this mile racetrack. Adam?
We talk so much about tires here at Dover, and today the news has been very good. We thought it would be entering the race, and after a 54-lap run to start the event, the folks on pit road agreed. Bud Hafley, the crew chief for Matt Crafton, told his driver the tires look absolutely beautiful. No issues with the Goodyears here this afternoon.
Hornaday still holding on to the second spot, but he's 1.1 seconds behind Kyle Busch. Elliott Sadler running third. Eric Almirola and Matt Crafton are in the top 5. There's David Starr and Mike Skinner, teammates once again, nose to tail on the racetrack.
Remember, David Starr took fuel only on this most recent caution flag. He's drifted back out of the top 5, now just battling his teammate for the 14th position. There's James Busher right behind them. James remained on the lead lap after that spin early on.
These guys are going to mix it up. Skinner gets a good run off the corner and clears Starr. You can check out
race for third on the left side of your screen. Elliott Sadler and Eric Almirola.
Those guys just lost a lot of time. They caught some lap traffic in the wrong spot on the racetrack, and both of them had to wait to clear it. Just give you an example, they ran about a second slower that last lap than they had the lap previous to that, and that's all about that momentum we talked about, catching a guy at the wrong part of the track.
And this track is plenty wide enough, but you still, if you catch a truck coming off the corner and they kind of feign like they're going to move up a little bit and you have to get out of the throttle, it takes so long to recover. But these guys have 650 horsepower, 700 horsepower, but unfortunately it just takes them a long time to recover after you get out of the throttle.
Just saw Kyle Busch's last lap, 147 miles an hour around this 1 mile racetrack. Kyle Busch continues to pace the field from Dover. Eric Almirola and the 88 of Matt Crafton, and it looks as though the 51 is slow on the racetrack.
I gotta come.
You hear him coming into pit road, Ray.
And apparently a right front tire has gone down on that number 51. Eric said he felt a bit of a vibration, and then it just got real loose on him on the entrance into the corner. So he's on pit road right now. This is lap 79 as he will slowly creep his way down here. He'll get right side tires on that truck only, but he'll lose probably 2 laps doing a green flag stop. Kyle Busch rolls by the start finish. There's 1 lap right now. It may be 3 before it's all done.
Yeah, and historically that would be jail for Eric Almirola, but with a new wave around and things like that, that's not the kiss of death. Obviously we're not going to give a lucky dog to somebody that's probably going to be 2 or 3 laps down. You see that tire, they just talk off that truck.
The right front was definitely tore up on that tire, on that truck. You can see the damage to that tire. That's what happens if what's next is what happened to Max Pappas, Phil. You know, that tire was tore up. Eric was able to feel it. Sometimes you can feel these things, and other times you can't. Max, without the experience to maybe feel exactly what happened to his tire, Eric made a call, got to pit road before he crashed. But that's what we talk about when we're hurting right front tires.
That is a tore up tire. Goodyear will take a look at that, try to evaluate what happened.
That could be a camber issue there, Phil, the way that right front tire is leaned in at the top. They lean the tires in to try to have all the tire surface on this concrete when they're loaded up down in the center of the corner, but then they go down the straightaway and that tire's leaned up on the inside of that as well, so that hurts the tire.
But that was only about a 20 lap run under green though, so that's really early for a problem like that to develop.
Kyle Busch going by the slower lap traffic of Jennifer Jo Cobb. Kyle Busch now has a 3.9 second lead over Ron Hornaday Jr. We're going to do a top 10 drop back. We start with Ray.
Well, Rick, from this point forward, Kyle Busch Motorsports will pretty much run brand new chassis, items that they've built throughout the course of the season. But this truck that Kyle has today is number 128. It's an old chassis that they inherited when they purchased Express Motorsports. Kyle said he really likes the way the truck handles, and he hopes they'll use it again sometime throughout the season. Right behind him, Ron Hornaday, who has gotten very free. He was tight through the first run, and they made an air pressure adjustment on the right front for that number 33 Longhorn Chevrolet, and now he's a little bit too free. 46 truck is in the wall, guys.
Trouble for the 46 team and also the 5 of Mike Skinner. There's some contact that was made, and you see the tire rubbing. The front end of that truck has been pushed back.
Mostly on the right side. He got the left front, and then the ball got the right side.
You wonder if that might have been related. 46 of Terry Jones right there, and Mike Skinner in the 5. You saw the obvious damage on the left front corner of that 5 truck.
Yeah, because Skinner had said he got the left front and the wall got the right, so I think that he might have been the 46 truck there.
I didn't see a great deal of damage to the right side of the truck when we caught a glimpse of it. A lot of damage to Terry Jones's truck though.
That's some of that racing through lap traffic, I'm sure, that we've talked about, Phil, and how difficult it is to time these moves and to keep from losing all your momentum. Skinner and Jones might have very well got together.
In the open pit road, sure we'll see the 5 of Mike Skinner ducking down onto pit road to get that damage resolved. It is the left front that's been bent down onto that tire. We see the Aaron's Lucky Dog going to Mario Goslin.
Tire Monkey's going to get a Aaron's Lucky Dog. Get a dog and a monkey.
That's right. It's a good day for the Tire Monkey. They came on board Martin Truex Car's associate sponsor today. And
how about
hey,
Mario's tack? His tachometer.
Let's just get rid of that, Mario. Yeah. What can we do with it? But how's he going to know his pit road speed, Phil?
You see, he just shut the truck off by accident, and then he had to hit the switch again to get it running.
Now he's getting a position where he can get a eyeball on it, so he knows his pit road speed. That's a smart play by the Tire Monkey there.
Well, that's actually Mario doing it.
Well, you knew what I meant.
If they wouldn't turn it off, 2 handfuls of wheels. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I.
Fourth caution has come out, and we've got trucks on pit road, Adam.
And these stops will take place at lap 87. Kyle Busch leading the parade down, and the man you see bottom of your screen, Matt Crafton, was tight in the early portion of this run, but as he continued, the truck got better. Minor adjustment for Matt as he makes his second pit stop of the day. They will take tires, and they will top off the fuel tank. We will wait and see if it's 2 or 4, Ray.
Hornaday said he was amazed how free he got there in that run. They're going 4 tires for him, and they'll also make another air pressure adjustment, this time to the right rear. Top of your screen, you see Kyle Busch. He has pit stall number 1. He decided to go down half a round on the track bar. Taylor Mousom goes with 2 tires. He'll be the leader off of pit road. Kyle Busch rolls off 4th. We see the 17 and the 2 also gambling.
33 almost got the 18 of Kyle Busch off pit road as well. That was close right at the line. The reason we're under our 4th caution, the 5 and the 46 having an issue. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win. Log on to campingworld.com and enter today. By Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage. And by Toro. Count on it.
Great crowd here on a Friday afternoon at Dover, Delaware. You can see the fans sitting here enjoying some great weather and some great racing. Let's see what happened to Mike Skinner. It looked like the 46 truck of Terry Jones gets sideways, and Skinner's just in a bind. He had to go up high to get around him. Barely scrapes the outside wall, but did some damage to that left front corner as he got around the outside of Jones. I don't know if Mike maybe thought Terry was going to go low when they got in the corner, maybe got in the back of Jones. Couldn't really tell, but certainly was a close call for Mike Skinner.
It almost looked like Terry got loose when he got to the corner. Mike was going to go around the outside, but when he got loose and the truck went up the hill, Mike tried to go around and make contact with that left front corner and then got into the wall just slightly with the right side of that truck.
We got some waiver rounds, Rick.
Yeah, the 51, the 10, the 84, and the 07 all took the wave around.
How cool is the wave around, though? It cleans up the whole field. You know, those guys stayed out on the racetrack. Some of the leaders pitted. We got rid of all those guys. We sent them around to the tail end of the field. So now, as they get ready to go back green, you've got the battle for the lead that's at the front. How you would expect it to be. Remember back in the day, there'd be 10 cars in front of the leader at times. Everybody's saying, now how could that be? We've cleaned all that up. Great call by NASCAR.
And a huge break for Eric Almirola. He doesn't have very many laps on his tires. He did the waiver run. Now he's only 1 lap down and in position possibly to get that Aaron's Lucky Dog.
Remember earlier when I said Kyle Busch was wondering where his teammate went? There he is. He's leading the race. Taylor Mawsom's out in front.
Elliott Sadler just behind him, the 18 of Kyle Busch back there. And remember, the restarts we've heard are a problem for that 18, but it doesn't look like he has any problem right now as he's going to try to get by that 2 of Elliott Sadler.
There were a problem for him when he had Ron Hornaday trying to get that lead.
Ron will make you have problems you didn't know you had the way he does a restart. You can see Kyle down the inside of Elliott Sadler is going to make that move off turn 2. And now the teammates of Kyle Busch and Taylor Mawsom are bumper to bumper.
And the teammates of KHI are running for position.
Stacey Compton on the outside. We see the 15 of Johnny Benson making his way past that 60. Still they stay side by side behind the 60 of Stacey Compton. This is Matt Crafton running that second line.
Here's his Menards on board. Matt on the outside making some good ground on Stacey Compton. What a wad of trucks we have here. James Busher thinking about making it 3 wide in that 31 truck. Thinks better of it.
He's got a really good truck, Phil. He's able to make some great moves. He's down on the side of David Starr. Now he's going to look to get under Stacey Compton. See if he can get 2 for 1 here on the front straightaway.
Compton runs high, the 31 of Busher able to get by Stacy Compton, so he takes that position away.
Johnny Benson there, struggling to get around Matt Crafton. He was up beside Crafton, and then Crafton got a good run off the corner, and Johnny couldn't close the deal, and Todd Bodine's up on the outside trying to figure it out.
David Starr got a little bit loose on the inside of Stacy Compton. David's in the 81 truck, Stacy in the 60. There's Jay White, the gun broker. Dodge, the 23 on the outside of the 51 of Eric Almirola. Remember now, Eric's 1 lap down, but he is the first truck 1 lap down. If the caution flag were to come out right now, he'd be in position to get that Aaron's lucky dog.
And his day is, he's gone from 2 down to having a chance to win this race again. And we think he's got a truck that he can compete with. What about these two? Remember the last time we saw them together?
These two really enjoy running nose to tail or side by side around racetracks. At least we think they do, because they're always side by side or nose to tail. Here comes Johnny Sauter. He's going to make the move to the inside of the 33. This is a battle for the 4th spot. Sauter takes it away.
You're clear.
Remember, Johnny's our most recent winner at Kansas a couple weeks ago.
And Johnny's trying to make a statement, Phil, not only about his win at Kansas, but the way he's performing here. He wants to be one of the guys you talk about winning the championship, and he's certainly performing at that level right now. Our point leader is Timothy Peters, and he's struggling today, so this is a big day for a lot of these guys trying to gain on Timothy Peters, including Ron Hornaday, who got off to a disastrous start in the season, but now he's certainly one of the guys you have to talk about winning this championship.
There's Stacy Compton right there, the 60 truck. We've watched him. He was involved in that first caution. He had a moment just a few minutes ago. There's David Starr, the 81 truck. Stacy gets a little bit loose.
Wow.
And David is right there, makes contact. You see the damage to the 81 truck of David Starr. But what a nice save by Stacy. Here's another view of it. Watch, Stacy's going to get loose on the outside. You see him wiggle right there. And David Starr had already committed to the throttle, and he runs in the back of that left rear corner.
Almirola sees this. We're riding along with him, takes advantage of those two checking up and goes right between them. Kyle Busch takes the top spot away from Taylor Malsom, the boss, going by his driver.
That's got to feel good for Kyle. He knows he's good, and he's good. Glad to see his other truck's good too. But he opened the door for Elliott Sadler, and these guys chasing down Kyle Busch. I think they've closed the gap, Bill, with the adjustments they made on pit road. These 3 trucks, the 2, certainly Johnny Sauter and Ron Hornaday, those 3 are all better now than they were early in the race compared to Kyle Busch.
And that's one thing that's going to allow these guys with the extra tires is to make more adjustments to these trucks. Typically, we only get 1 or 2 tries at adjusting on these trucks, as we see Ron Hornaday get by Taylor Malsom. Oh, and
wow.
He wiggles, and he may lose that spot back, but these guys will have more opportunities to adjust on these trucks and try to catch that 18.
What about that 7 truck again, right there, battling in the top for a top 5 spot? Justin Lofton is showing us today what we expected out of him all along. He was very strong in the ARCA series, obviously racing for that championship, but then now he's in his transition to the truck. This is the kind of performance we thought we would see from this kid.
Adam Alexander.
Michael talking about the expectations for Justin Lofton. No doubt the Ray Bestis Rookie of the Year contender delivering today, and they've not done it playing the strategy game. They simply got him up front, and he has stayed there. He's done a very, very nice job. When he came to pit road at lap 87, 4 tires, fuel, no changes, and here he is making another move on track, Ray.
And Adam, he's going by Taylor Malsom in that 56 on the last round of pit stops. Taylor put on right side tires only. But up at the front, I said there's another truck that must have gambled. How about the 2? I thought for sure they went for right side tires too, because they gained all that track position. But guess what? A great pit stop for the number 2 and the KHI team. They went by Ron Hornaday and Kyle Busch, even though they put on 4 tires and made adjustment there. So Elliott Sadler with a great pit stop to get him some good track position.
So Elliott Sadler has been able to take over that 2nd spot. Johnny Sauter is coming. He's running in the 3rd position. Can he make it 2 races in a row that he gets to victory lane? Well, they're going to have to slow down Kyle Busch. He has been the dominant truck today. Even when he doesn't start up front, he finds a way to get there. Sunday, May 23rd, live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't miss an epic television event for the ages. Bill France Sr., Bill France Jr., Richard Petty, Junior Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt will rightfully take their place as the first inductees of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Live coverage begins May 23rd at noon Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
You know, Michael, over there Tuesday for the grand opening of Hall of Fame, I don't know that I've ever remember as many champions, former champions, being assembled in one place at one time. We had everybody from Rex White to Ned Jarrett. Obviously, DW was there, and just so many. And Jack Ingram, champion of the Busch Series, now Nationwide Series. Mike Skinner, Ron Hornaday, so many former champions in our series. And all three series were represented there Tuesday for that grand opening.
Wasn't it just a great feeling, though, to be able to celebrate with those folks, you know, guys that are champions and are retired, and the folks that helped build what we get to do today. And we were walking around and just sharing the moment with them, and they were totally impressed with all the honors that were being bestowed upon them.
Battle for the 10th spot. Johnny Benson in the 15 is going to lose it to the 17 of Timothy Peters. Things looking up for our point leader, Timothy Peters, as he takes a spot away from Johnny Benson. Ray Dunlap.
Rick, remember right before our commercial break, you were talking about Sauter and Hornaday racing side by side, right? Well, guess what? Hornaday is in trouble. He said he cannot drive his truck, but the yellow is coming out right now. Hornaday was getting ready actually to pit under green, I believe. What a great break for the number 33 team. He was getting ready to come down.
Well, and we see the debris on the racetrack. Parts of different vehicles have been loosened during this race, and one came off.
Remember, we talked about Eric Almirola, the fact he got 2 laps down with that tire situation, did the wave around, got one of them back. He's going to get the Aaron's lucky dog here, and we'll be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, this caution was very timely for Eric, because some of the guys at the tail end of the lead lap were getting ready to be lapped by Kyle Busch another lap or two, and he wouldn't have been the Aaron's lucky dog. Someone else would have gotten that gift from Aaron's, and Eric would still be a lap down. So this is a way for, with 86 laps to go, Eric's back in this show.
He's back in the game. There he is right there in the AK Awareness Toyota for Billy Ballou.
On the lead lap once again, receiving the Aaron's lucky dog, Eric Almirola. Will he be a contender? Well, he's going to have to get by that 18 of Kyle Busch. Welcome back to the Dover 200, presented on Speed by Pep Boys. A few trucks making their way onto pit road. Ray?
Right side tires going on for Elliott Sadler. He said he did not like the way that truck loosened up on him. Hornaday was the one I expected down pit road. We'll see a 4-tire stop here for that Insignia brand TV. That is from Best Buy for Elliott Sadler. So he will get tires here on lap 115. Hornaday and Doug George having a long conversation. Hornaday's truck's so loose, he said, I just cannot drive it. But Doug George did not want to give up that track position. So they're opting to stay in the top 5, even though Hornaday having trouble holding on.
Strategy wants to have tires late in the race.
He didn't want to give up track position right now, but Ron said, I'm loose.
I'm loose, and I'm going back. Can I hang on to it until I can come back to pit road?
Next week on Speed, it's All-Star Everything. The Sprint Cup Series lays it all on the line Saturday for $1 million on Speed. Before the dash for cash can be paid out, the trucks will be putting on their own show under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't miss any of the action Friday night as the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series kicks off the All-Star Weekend festivities with its own party at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, starting with the setup hosted by Chris Devoda, followed by all the race action at 8 p.m. Eastern.
The North Carolina Education Lottery 200, right there in the backyard of most of the teams that run in the Camping World Truck Series.
What a weekend, though. We've got the Truck Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway on Friday night, and then the All-Star race. And that thing gets better and better, it seems like, Mike.
Oh, it is. And you know, we talk, I know every week can't be the most intense ever, but you go to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the All-Star race with the speeds that these Cup cars are running this year. I mean, we're breaking track records. These things are hauling, right. And the competition is going to be crazy. And I'm going to strap in and race the showdown in your car.
Yeah.
I'm driving the.
Very excited to have you in that 55 car.
Last time we were together, we led the race at Talladega. Ray, what's going on pit road?
Well, real quick, I wanted to get with Butch Hilton and ask him, is that your last pit stop of the day?
Well, I got a set of rights here if we need it at the end if we catch a caution, but I'm done if this goes green to the end. I think we got them right here, so we'll see. It may not go green, but I got a set of rights left, so we'll have something to race with at the end.
All right, I was a little bit surprised, guys, when I saw that 2 rolling down pit road, but they are good to go, enough on fuel, and you know that 18 and the rest of them are coming one more time. time.
82 laps of racing remain in this one. Kyle Busch jumps out to the lead once again. Ron Hornaday running second. Johnny Sauter is third.
Bad restart for Johnny Sauter. He just didn't go when Kyle Busch did. Yeah. And Hornaday was able to jump by him.
A lot of rubber on the racetrack. You see it bouncing around. Austin Dillon, Justin Lofton knows side by side, door to door as they come out of four.
There's more at stake than just this position right here. These guys are battling for the Ray Besters rookie title. Both of these guys doing a terrific job. Austin, very young, college student at High Point University, and Justin. Contact. What a save by Austin.
Be patient here. Oh man, that was close, Phil. You know, we talked to Matt Kraft, who loves his truck right now too, and he's going to try to get up and be a part of this battle for the top 5. Matt's really fast. These guys all had a moment right there when they left turn 2. They didn't know who might wind up crash.
That's the thing I love about the experience that Austin's getting right now. He's had several situations that he's learning from and been able to come out of each and every one of them today. Doing a great job right now running in the top 5. Let's take a look at this most recent moment he had. He's on the inside. We see what happens. He gets loose, chases it, tries to stay off of Justin, almost does, and does a terrific job of straightening that truck out. Watch this.
Looked like he might have done some damage to the right front corner of that truck a little bit, Phil, or no?
Maybe a little bit, but it looks like he caught him maybe with the rear of the truck, maybe more so than the front of the truck.
Rear and then
maybe a little bit with the front, but it looks like that fender's still sticking out pretty good.
I'm going to say this is a nominee for our Dodge Save of the Race. We have to determine later.
It's a pretty good one right there.
Did you hear him working the gas? Not only was he working.
Oh, Mario Goslin into the wall. Coming out of turn number 4, midway down the front stretch, and Mario Goslin slams into the outside wall and then backs all the way down.
Yeah, Mario was running up in the top 15. He was in 14th spot when this incident occurred.
Doesn't look like
there's not a considerable amount of damage. He does have a little bit of damage to that left rear corner. He is going to stay on the lead lap. Mario got it turned around and righted and headed back to catch up with the field.
Looks like maybe just beat it out with a hammer. He can keep going. And I don't think he'll have to go to the garage. But man, that was wild looking. How did he get backwards on the front straightaway?
He's going to have a hard time fueling that truck if he needs to.
Well, he just won't do it then.
Well, he'll run out of gas.
He might run out of gas with 77 laps to go.
You'll give us that, right, Phil?
Absolutely. Quite possible.
But they can figure out that. That'd be the least of their worries. They just hope that thing's square enough to where he can keep going.
There's Mario on the inside. He's going to come off the corner right side by side with Ricky Carmichael. Just loses the front end of that truck.
Pushed up, and when he lost the front end, he had the wheels cut hard to the left, and when he bounced off Carmichael, it just spun him right around. Like you said, solid top 15 run for Mario Goslin, and all of a sudden he finds himself backwards on the front straightaway at Dover.
What a nice job by Timothy Peters to avoid him. Watch just by that move by Timothy right there.
He had to do that so quick. I mean, he had to just react, and then he couldn't turn it too hard to the left. You're going downhill.
We saw what Donnie Neuenberger did when he tried to turn left like that and avoid somebody, and they're all coming to pit road at him.
And the leaders will come here, Phil. The reason why, they are in their window to go the distance should it stay green. Most will have a set of right side tires, even if the door opened to come down pit road again. And the first to hit his pit stall, the man running in the top 5, the Rookie of the Year contender we've talked about so much today, bottom of your screen, Justin Lofton. The crew going to make a track bar adjustment to help tighten him up just a bit. 4 tires and fuel, Ray.
Big problems for Johnny Sauter. He's got a transmission issue. It will not go in first or second gear. They're going right side tires for that in-country Chevrolet, but he is able to get out of his pit stall. Right side tires going on for Kyle Busch. He's going to do a 4-tire change. Sauter will be first off pit road. 4 tires also going on for Taylor Malsom right behind. We'll see 4 tires for Hornaday and a 3 truck.
He was able to get that truck in first gear, Johnny Sauter. You see him spin his tires out of his pit, so he did figure out how to work it into first gear. Big break for Elliott Sadler. He made his pit stop just a few laps before the caution flies. All the leaders come to pit road. He's got his tires. He's got his track position back now, Phil.
And probably enough fuel with enough cushion with these caution laps to get to the end comfortably.
The plot thickens, man.
Tire Strategy has won this race as early as a year ago with Brian Scott finding victory lane. Could it come into play once again? Mario Goslin has troubles coming out of turn 4. He gets turned around and rides the outside wall on the front stretch. Looking for the latest stats and results from the track? Stay informed and make your best fantasy picks using Speed's comprehensive NASCAR stats for the latest practice and qualifying reports, race results, and driver standings. Get more at the NASCAR section of Speed.com.
Not going to keep that tire monkey down.
He's back on the road.
This is the reason for our most recent caution, number 6 on the day.
Mario comes off the corner, loses the front a little bit, tries his best to stay off of Ricky.
Had a great run on the inside of Carmichael and hit that wall pretty hard. I think he hit it where it's concrete, Phil. I don't believe there's any safer area where he got into it. So he could have done some damage to that rear end housing. We saw a lot of damage to that left rear corner right there. But
he may have hit that tire, which may have moved the rear end housing over.
That's not a view you want at Dover, looking back down the front straightaway. But to spin out on the front straightaway at Dover, not suffer any more damage than that, I think Mario can consider himself fortunate.
Absolutely.
At insult to injury, he was too fast entering pit road, so he got a penalty from NASCAR as well.
Couldn't find his tack over there, Rick. Look at it. It's all laid up in the door.
Mario made a lot of repairs on pit road. There's our lucky dog right there. Carl Long's going to get him a lap back.
Out in front of the field, Jason White will bring the field back to the green flag.
Man, why does it always happen at Dover? We've had Kyle Busch has been dominant, but he hadn't been able to. It's not been easy. He had to fight his way through traffic, and now look at him lined up back in the 11th spot.
Back into the gas they go. Green flag back in the air.
How about Jason White here leading this race? And Johnny Benson in the 2nd spot. Elliott Sadler, we know from his crew chief Butch Hilton, he's done pitting unless he has to come in later with a late caution, needs some right side tires. He has enough fuel to get to the end. Side by side for the lead.
Johnny Sauter on the outside. Elliott Sadler back there in the 3rd position.
Former series champion Johnny Benson in that 15 truck.
Jason White hanging tough on the low side in that gunbroker.com truck. I thought Johnny would make relative easy work of Jason, but he's not able to get the job done. Jason's strong down on the bottom. That's tough. It's tough to keep that truck down on the low side and not get loose. We've seen truck after truck get loose when they're on the inside.
Remember, Jason had a top 5 finish here last year, finished in 4th, which at the time was his career best finish. Finished 3rd later on in the year at Las Vegas.
Johnny Benson clears Jason White, so he takes over the points here at Dover. And now Elliott Sadler sitting back there in the 3rd position, trying to hold off that 51 of Eric Almirola coming on.
How about our leader right now, Johnny Benson, in that 15 truck? He jumps in this 15 truck, runs it a couple times this year, gets top 5 finishes with both, leading the race here with about 70 laps to go. And you know when he's going to run a truck series next? He doesn't know either. Has really no rides lined up for the remainder of the year at this point.
This will help. This gets people's attention because he's leading here at Dover, one of the toughest tracks we race on. And here comes Elliott
Sadler to the inside of that 23 of Jason White.
And oh, by the way, that's Eric Almirola right there, the 51 truck. Remember him 2 laps down about 20 laps ago? He's running 4th right now.
Yeah, and he's done it textbook by using the new rules. He got a wave around by staying out. Then he got an Aaron's lucky dog and put him right back in contention. And now he's running in the top 5. And
Johnny Sauter made a 3 wide right there. Did you see that? Now Johnny Sauter side by side with the 18 truck of Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch, so dominant all day with just 68 laps remaining in this race. He's trying to work his way back up to the front.
Well, remember, he restarted, Rick, in the 11th position. He's already up to 5th, and he has 2nd through 4th right there in front of him. Little contact right there, looked like.
Well, that was lucky for Elliott that Almirola had to come off the gas. He's able to squeeze into that hole. These guys need to get this figured out in a hurry because trouble's coming in the form of Kyle Busch. He's very fast.
Kyle Busch trying to get by that number 2 of Elliott Sadler. He gets to the inside, bumps the apron, but he's able to get right back into the gas, and he's going to take the spot away from Elliott.
That's 2 of the 3 trucks that were right in front of him. He got by the 51 of Almirola and the 2 of Elliott Sadler. Now he's going to go to the outside of Jay White.
Jay's got a good truck running down on the bottom of the racetrack. Good corner there.
That shows just how good that 18 of Kyle Busch is as he gets ready to go to the inside of the 23 of Jason White. This is for 2nd. Kyle Busch now back up to the 2nd spot. Jason White drops back to 3rd. Adam?
And Jason White has done a very nice job of managing strategy. When they came down early today after starting 13th at lap 21, they took fuel only. It's been 4 tires every time since, but they came at lap 115. They're good to go the distance, and they still have a set of right sides. Should there be a late race caution, could be back-to-back top 5s for Jay White at Dover, Ray.
And Adam, for me, that brings up a good question. Would you come back to pit road if you had tires? Well, I'll pose that question to Phil and Michael, because Johnny Sauter, who's running in 6th right now, has 4 sticker tires sitting in the pits. He believes they're going to be his salvation. His crew chief, Joe Shear, told him just stay up there in the top 5. If we get a caution with about 40 to go, we're coming for our 4 freshmen, and we got them dead in the water. What do you guys think?
I like his strategy.
I like his strategy too, Ray.
We're not going to beat Kyle Busch heads up today. Kyle's got the truck. He just took the lead from Johnny Benson. So let's mix it up a little bit, Phil. Let's come get us 4 tires and see what we can do with that kid.
That's the only shot we have to beat Kyle Busch, is to do something that he doesn't. Now, if he comes to pit road at lap 40 and puts tires on, well, then it's a push. But I think maybe Kyle may only have right sides left, where Johnny Sauter may have all 4 tires left.
We have 20 trucks still on the lead lap, so that has to be factored in too. If guys stay out on the racetrack, how far would you restart? Or how far back would you restart?
Yeah, circumstances will have to lead to that being able to work out for Johnny Sauter. You know, if we can run this thing another 30 or 40 laps, Rick, and then the caution fly, that's a perfect case scenario for Johnny Sauter to get those 4 tires and try to get after, because Kyle will have some more trucks lap. There'll only be, you know, there'll be less trucks on the lead lap, and it'll make a better opportunity for Johnny Sauter to get to pit road.
Hey, remember, in 10 laps, Kyle Busch went from 11th on the restart to the lead in 10 laps.
And already a 1.3-second lead over Johnny Benson. 7th caution of the day has come out, this time involving our point leader. And Timothy Peters rolls into the garage area.
Big damage to the right in front of that truck, Phil. There's brake rotor on the racetrack. Obviously, it'll be tough to even get that thing repaired in time to get back in the race.
Yeah, what a great start to the season Timothy had. That big win at Daytona, top 10s every week, and then the last couple of weeks it's kind of gone south on him, but still a great contender, still very much in this championship hunt.
Got some guys taking this advantage, an opportunity to get on pit road. Johnny Sauter, we heard him talk about having 4 tires. He's come to pit road to get them, guys.
So Johnny Sauter leading a handful of trucks onto pit road, Ray.
And Johnny Sauter said, should we wait till a little later in the race? And Joe Shear says we can't take that chance. They've got 4 sticker tires in the pits here. They'll put them on that Chevrolet for Sauter, and I can tell you this for sure. Kyle Busch is done pitting for the day. Eric Phillips told him, you've got it in your hands from here on out. Adam?
Johnny Benson was basically following and doing exactly what Kyle Busch did for Jason White. He elects to come down pit road at lap 147. He wanted fresh tires, did not think he had a chance on the set he was riding on. You see Jason White making his exit the last time he had been on pit road, lap 115, when he took on 4 tires. This time it's right sides only for the 23.
You know, ideally, guys, Johnny Sauter's team would have liked to have waited another 20 laps and had this caution fly. But when Joe Shear said we can't afford to wait, they didn't want this race to conclude with them having 4 sticker tires sitting there on the pit. They wanted to make sure they could get those tires on that truck.
See if we can take a look at what happened to Timothy Peters. You see the truck just turn right there. Looked like the tire went down. It didn't look like it didn't blow out all at once, because it would have turned hard right. But obviously it deflated, and he got into the outside. Well, there's some brake rotor right of your screen flying out from under that truck. What a horrible break for Timothy.
And that was a great shot too. We were able to see the brake rotor slam up into the hood as well when it broke off.
Look at that contact.
Yeah, I tell you, Timothy did a nice job getting that truck slowed down a little bit before he made the contact with the outside wall, Adam.
And you can see the damage, Phil, as the crew continues to work. You guys did an admirable job a couple of weeks ago at Kansas, Timothy, getting back in the race after the battery problem. It looks like this one's going to be tough to repair.
Yeah, we're out. A little driver mistake on my part. We didn't really have a good strutmasters.com Crescent Tools Toyota Tundra all race long, and just got a little impatient and got up into the wall off of 4, and the right front went down. But you know, I can't thank Tom DeLoach and all these guys enough for what they do for me. So you know, we'll rebound and go to Charlotte next week. Hopefully all our bad luck's out of the way, and we can concentrate on forward.
No doubt about it. He's still in the title hunt, but back-to-back weeks with tough hits for Timothy Peters.
Look at that hole in the hood, guys, where that brake rotor blew right through the hood.
So our 7th caution of the night has come out. This time it's point leader Timothy Peters into the wall and out of the race. Disappointment for him. Kyle Busch strong. Can he hold on and win again at Dover? The Duplicolor Bed Armor What's in Your Bed promotion has launched and continues until August 31st, 2010. Entries open to legal residents of the United States and who are 18 years of age or older. Entry requires submission of an image and description of your truck in use in one of 3 categories. Limit 1 entry per person, household or street address per category. Odds of winning depend on the number of entries on the website. To enter and for official rules, visit bedarmor.com and void where prohibited. Pace car making its way back onto the pit road, and that puts the field back in the hands of Kyle Busch. On his outside, Johnny Benson. They are door to door as they come out of turn number 4. Green flag back in the air.
Elliott Sadler is going to try to take advantage of this restart to get around Johnny Benson and try to put a little heat on Kyle Busch. Elliott's definitely had one of the best 2 or 3 trucks all night long, and now he's going to be right on the tailgate of Kyle Busch.
Kyle has about 10 laps fresher tires than does Elliott Sadler. I think what Butch Hilton was really hoping for is for this race to go green when he made his pit stop back on lap number 115. That was going to be his last stop, and he knew that everybody else at that point had to make another pit stop.
But he got a big break when the caution flew just a few laps later, 10 laps later, like you said, Phil, and everybody else came to pit road. He gave him his track position back, and now it's got him in the 2nd spot. And some of those 10 laps were some caution flag laps, so his tires aren't bad compared to leader Kyle Busch. It'll be interesting to see. Johnny Sauter and Eric Almirola were on pit road just now and got fresh tires. Can they get through the field and have a chance to line up behind Kyle late in the going with tires that are much better?
Last time by, Sauter was 13th. Now he's moved up to 12th as he got by Skinner. He's going to continue to pick off trucks 1 at a time, maybe even 2 or 3 at a time, as he has the freshest tires on the racetrack.
Well, on the last restart, we saw Kyle Busch go from 11th to the lead in less than 10 laps. Is that right?
Yes.
And so we'll see if Johnny can.
He's struggling.
He's struggling, baby.
Matt Crafton talking about the 33 of Hornaday.
You heard Matt, we talked about earlier, dead in the throttle in the center of the corner, then having to pedal a little bit up off the corner.
James Busher on the outside, the 7 of Justin Lofton on the inside. That's David Starr in the 81, the 51 of Eric Almirola going to the outside.
And this is just really when Justin needs to be careful. He's in a bind here. It's getting late in the going. He's had a great day. He doesn't want to get overly excited, overly aggressive. He'll wind up into the side of Busher's truck and cause a mess. So Justin's got to use a little bit of patience here, and he does. He pulls back up in line, gets in the hole in front of Almirola. But Eric's got better tires, and he dives to the bottom.
Johnny Sauter in that 13 going to the outside of the 81 of David Starr. In front of this group, that 31 of James Busher. Adam?
And you talk about James Busher. He's rallying back from a spin at lap 20. The good news for this race team, when they had that spin, they got an extra set of tires for NASCAR. So Busher has done a nice job of playing the strategy game. He rides 7th with just over 40 laps to go, and they've got 4 sticker tires waiting on them should the opportunity present itself to come to pit road.
Adam, we saw, and as Michael documented, the 51 also got 4 tires, but where he really excelled was on the restart. Eric Almirola came down the front stretch, went 3 wide around a number of trucks, including Austin Dillon, and had a really great restart. That's what was able to give him good track position. The 51 and the 13 running 8th and 9th, heading to the front.
They are doing just that, getting through, like Rick said, about a truck a lap, making their way toward the front. You know what they're needing, Phil, is to be able to get through all these trucks, get up in the top 5, and then have a late caution. That's the only way they're going to be able to take advantage of the fact that their tires are a little bit better than Kyle Busch's. And they need an advantage over Kyle because he's just that strong today.
Because right now, they're both about 6 seconds behind Kyle Busch. Their trucks are equally as fast right now on those new tires, but not fast enough to overcome that deficit.
Kyle Busch is 2 seconds in front of Elliott Sadler. After the most recent restart, Johnny Benson's dropped back to 3rd. Hornaday and Crafton round out our top 5. Let's take a look at today's Dodge Save of the Race moment.
Watch this move right here. Taylor Malsom on the inside does a great job staying off of Mario Goslin in that 12 truck.
But watch this cat. Woo! Watch his hands, Phil. Look at his hands in there. He's trying to, he's all over that steering wheel, making sure he keeps it going straight.
And that's a bank straightaway, too, now. That's not a flat straightaway.
That jacks the degree of difficulty way up when you talk about being a bank straightaway.
That was today's Dodge Save of the Race moments. So Stacy Compton, great job keeping control of that number 60. Now the 18 of Kyle Busch has 1.5 seconds.
It was
over Elliott Sadler.
It was 2 seconds, Rick. These guys in second, third, and fourth have been consistently chopping about a half a tenth of a second a lap of that lead off, Phil. But is Kyle just riding right now, or do you think he's pushing that truck for all? He doesn't ride often.
I think he's riding right now. He knows he wants to save those tires. He knows he wants to save the right front tire. We've had a couple right front tires go down, but it seems like he gets out about a second and a half, and then he just stays there, just levels out and he stays there.
Johnny Benson.
Looks like Johnny's a little bit better than Elliott Sadler right now. Can't quite get around him, and Hornaday closed up on the back of these two a lap or two ago, but now they've driven away from Ron. So you remember hearing from Matt Crafton's spotters when Matt was right on Hornaday, he said, oh, he's struggling. Well, he drove away from Matt now. So he might be struggling, but he's doing it out in front of Matt.
Elliott Sadler into the outside wall with the right front tire down.
Right front tire goes down for Elliott Sadler.
Keep it up there. Keep it up there.
You hear the spotter.
Now.
Stay up there.
Still coming at you. Hold your line up there. Hold your line up there. Hold your line up there. You got about 3 or 4 more here. Last one's behind you now. The 3 right there. Good, 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 good.
There's so many questions about why these tires are going. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason for it. You know, we saw a tire blow in 20 laps. Then we saw some go 50 and 60 laps and not blow. So a lot of questions up along pit road here.
That was about 55 laps right there for that tire. We had a number of caution laps intermingled in with those 55 laps. There's no question what happens here. Elliott goes down the corner, that tire goes, and that truck just turns hard right into the safety barrier. Another situation of the safety barrier really giving when Elliott makes that contact. Watch this. This will be a great view of it.
Oh, it's a great view.
Glances off the wall.
Tough break for that truck. That KHI truck came in here leading the owner points over the 18 truck of Kyle Busch.
That looks like a day-ending hit for Elliott Sadler.
And you know, Elliott, sometimes the truck's performance will begin to fall off as the tire goes away, but that truck was running fine. You know, he didn't have any warning, any sign at all that something was going wrong with that right front tire. He was running second, he dives in the corner and crashes.
The very last lap he ran with it a tenth of a second of what Kyle Busch did, and then went down in the corner and the right front tire goes down.
Another lucky dog for Mario Gosselin.
So he'll get his lap back and tack on to the back of the field. That is 19 trucks on the lead lap. There's a disappointed owner. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by Pep Boys. Pep Boys does everything for less. Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all your truck, tire, and towing needs. And by Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Adam Alexander, I believe you've got a disappointed Elliott Sadler with you.
Rick, here are the results of a right front tire that went bad at Dover. A hard hit for Elliott Sadler. The good news is you're okay. Any warning at all, Elliott?
No warning at all. And that was the freest the truck had been. So I don't know if I ran over something or, you know, just abused it, but just so proud of everybody here at KHI. Gave me a great truck, and everybody at Best Buy and Insignia TV for helping us out this weekend. Thank God for safer barriers and those new seats that we run, because that was a hard hit, and I just hurt my wrist a little bit on the steering wheel. Other than that, I feel fine. So KHI built a safe truck. Just need some luck. Running good, and it was a lot of fun. Most fun I've had in a long time today. Just need a little luck.
We'll see Elliott at Charlotte next week, guys.
Green flag in the air, and that is the 18 of Kyle Busch on the outside, guys. And there was a little strategy that went into this move.
Yeah, during the commercial break, we were listening to Kyle Busch. Eric Phillips' crew chief said that Johnny Benson asked if Kyle would run on the outside. Said, I won't beat you in the corner. I just want to keep Hornaday behind me. Kyle said, yeah, no problem. He did it on the outside, and there's Johnny in second spot. Right now, Matt Crafton, though, shows in the third position.
Yeah, and look who's coming. There's Eric Almirola. He's up on the outside of Hornaday. Remember, he and the truck of Johnny Sauter there, a couple trucks behind him, have better tires than our race leaders right now. So Almirola, with 23 laps to go, needs to chop into this lead in a hurry. He does have better tires than our leader.
How impressive for Eric Almirola, too. He was 2 laps down at one point in time in this race. He's been able to do the wave around and then get the Aaron's lucky dog back on the lead lap, and he's back in the top 4.
That's why these double foul restarts with the wave arounds are trouble for Taylor Malsom.
No caution as of yet, but the waiver rounds of double foul restarts have really changed the complexion of these races.
Taylor got into the outside wall there. Obviously looked like his tires were up. I don't know if he just slipped. There's Almirola getting his way around Hornaday. That shoots him up to the 4th spot. And look, the leader's right up there in sight. So
here comes the 13 of Johnny Sauter. He goes by the 30 of Todd Bodine. Again, fresher tires on that number 13.
We haven't talked a whole lot about Todd today, but he's had a solid run.
You got clean air here.
Running up in the top 10 right now, has in the 7th spot, right behind Johnny Sauter in the 6th spot.
Today reminds me a lot of some point racing for Todd Bodine. We haven't really seen him have a truck he can contend to win with, but he's up there in the points, and he's certainly taken advantage of just being steady and consistent.
And second coming in, and our point leader in the garage already, Ray.
Well, Todd was really loose early on. They went down on the track bar, made some big adjustments, but right now he's tight middle off, and he said he just can't get the truck to turn the way he would like, so he's just trying to ride there and get a decent finish. Really, really tight from the middle off the corner.
So he's doing a little points racing.
Well, there's days you have to do that, and certainly on a day where the point leader's in the garage area, you don't want to make a mistake with a truck and try to run 5th with one that wants to run 7th. You know, you just can't try to overdo it, especially on the monster. This place will bite you.
Inside of 20 laps to go. Austin Dillon right now up into the top 10, took over the 9th spot from Justin Lofton. There's Mike Skinner right behind them. All those trucks on the lead lap.
Kyle Busch has put almost a second between himself and Johnny Benson. That's the distance between 1 and 2. Then Matt Crafton back there in 3rd. Eric Almirola is 4th, and Ron Hornaday in the 5th spot.
I think we're going to have a battle for 3rd here very, very shortly. Remember, Eric Almirola, Michael, we talked about a little bit fresher tires than these guys in front of him. And he's chased down Matt Crafton here, just about 0.2 of a second behind him right now.
But Crafton's been able to rally here late in the going and get up to that 3rd spot. We saw Hornaday drive away from him earlier, but as it's gotten late in the going, maybe the track's changing a little bit. Phil, what do you think? Sun's going down, it's cooling off a little bit.
Pull it away. He can't pass you if you run the bottom like that.
We hear a lot of guys talking about getting tighter and tighter, and that's what, you know, we historically this racetrack, as it rubbers up and cools off, it does get tighter. If a guy may have been a little bit loose early on, these conditions right now would play right into his hands.
You could see Almirola was right on Crafton, but now he's lost some ground to Matt Crafton, and Ron Hornaday's driven up on the back tailgate of Almirola, and you could see why. He's sideways off the turn.
Very loose coming out of turn 4 was Eric Almirola. He looks like he's chasing it once again. Adam.
Talk about the track changing, and we've not really heard much on the radio from these drivers about the difference in the track now versus when the race started. But the weather has changed significantly, Rick. When the green flag went in the air a couple of hours ago, sunshine and blue skies, and there was a 40% chance of rain this afternoon. It appears that rain is on its way. It shouldn't impact this race, but certainly it has cooled down the racetrack, and the winds have picked up here at Dover.
If we continue green, it's less than 7 minutes of racing remaining in this race with only 14 laps to go. Almirola has a mirror full of that 33 of Ron Hornaday. It looks like the 13 of Johnny Sauter is plateaued behind Hornaday.
I think Eric Almirola right now has lost the handle a little bit. Ron Hornaday's been able to chase him down now in a side-by-side battle for that 4th spot.
So Hornaday trying to get back up into the 4th position. They go by the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobbs. They have to move up the racetrack just a bit as they go by.
Yeah, Eric pulled a nice pick using Jennifer Jo to keep Ron behind him. And like you said, Phil, you could see the trucks lining up on Eric Almirola's tailgate. The 33 of Hornaday, the 7, the 13 of Sauter. Here comes Tom Bodine. All these trucks are catching Almirola, so obviously his truck has gone away here late in the going.
Right behind that Tom Bodine truck is the 81 of David Starr. The great run for that team. Good, strong top 10 run for him. The PC Myler Toyota.
You could see Austin Dillon right there behind Starr, and then behind Dillon is Justin Lofton. Just a solid top 10 run for a lot of teams that really needed these runs. We've seen Austin Dillon ever since he left Daytona be solid and steady. Justin Lofton having a great top 10 run here at Dover. And you know, if you can get a top 10 at Dover, Phil, it just builds so much confidence in you for everywhere you go.
We saw him last year win the ARCA Racing Series Championship
doing a great job. Won 6 races, had a great battle with Parker Kligerman, won by 5 points. So we know he has the talent, and he's showing it here today. This would be his best career finish. Kansas last time out, 13th, was his career best coming into here.
You like to see that sort of consistently building on it, and that's what Justin's doing.
Oh, something happens to Austin Dillon.
Slow
Austin
on
has
the
a problem.
racetrack. Austin Dillon slows.
Wonder if he feels something with a tire.
Slowing way down as he goes into turn number 1.
It slipped out of gear.
Jumped out of gear.
All right, keep going. You're all right. Keep going. Keep going.
Adam Alexander.
And I was just going to repeat exactly what we heard on the radio. They told him to switch the electrical switch. It wasn't electrical. It was simply it slipped out of gear, Rick, and now you see problems for Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter into the wall, and that brings the caution out once again, our 9th caution. And that is not what Kyle Busch wanted to see.
But who's going to be his competition, man? I mean, you don't want to be, you're right, Rick. He didn't want to see it because he's going to have 2nd place lined up right beside him and Johnny Benson. And, of course, Ron Hornaday, we've seen what he does on these restarts. You got Matt Crafton and Eric Almirola. So he's going to have a lot of competition, a lot of company at the front. And right when the caution flew, he had a couple-second lead on this field.
This is another situation where Kyle Busch is going to have to use strategy. Who's stronger right now, Johnny Benson or maybe Matt Crafton, who would start 3rd? Do I want Crafton behind me on the restart, or could I put Johnny Benson in front of Matt Crafton to slow him down?
Yeah, and Kyle Busch will be in control on the restart. He is the guy that goes, and the 2nd place truck is not supposed to beat him to the start finish line. So, you know, he really has the advantage on this restart. There's another lucky dog for Stacey Compton. We saw a great save, the Dodge save of the race, one of the Dodge saves of the race for Stacey Compton. Now he gets an Aaron's lucky dog.
Do y'all see how hard these darn things are to win? What Kyle Busch, even though he's had a dominant truck, what all he's faced with here on this last restart to try to win this sucker.
You see Johnny there. I think he felt like something was going on because we saw the 81 of David Starr pulling up underneath him. Johnny feels something there, still makes some pretty good contact with the outside wall. Not as hard as some of the others we have seen, but
just such a helpless feeling when you go down to that corner and you feel something and then all of a sudden it goes away. It doesn't matter where you turn that steering wheel. That truck is going to go into the outside wall. Got a couple of takers on pit road.
Ricky Carmichael in the 4 and Jason White in the 23.
Kyle Busch has been dominant. He's led more laps at Dover than any other driver. Over 170 laps led by Kyle Busch. Welcome back to final laps of the Dover 200 presented on Speed by Pep Boys, about to take place. Who will claim Miles the Monster, that trophy? Could it be Kyle Busch, the first ever driver to win more than once at Dover in the Truck Series? And again, immediately following us, it's the NASCAR Hall of Fame biography of Dale Earnhardt Sr., the Intimidator. Will be the premiere showing of that version.
Kyle Busch answered the question. He is going to start on the outside. See Johnny Benson, that 15 truck. He knows a great restart here may put him in victory lane.
Coming out of turn number 4. Kyle Busch hopes this to be the last restart. Back in the gas and slow for the 15 of Johnny Benson. Problems for him. He can't get it going.
Oh,
and now problems for Kyle Busch. He has problems as well. The 51 of Eric Almirola goes by. We've got smoke behind the 3 of Austin Dillon. They stay green. Eric Almirola jumps out to a huge lead.
Kyle Busch is going to fight back.
Caution comes out now.
Wow, what a finish we're going to have.
Unbelievable.
Don Bodine's going to drive up and start beside Eric Almirola. Kyle Busch will be in the 3rd or 4th spot. I don't know if he had the truck of Justin Lofton cleared yet or not when the caution flew. NASCAR will make that call.
I think he had him cleared, but they will have to go back to the previous loop to see if he had him cleared by the time they went across that loop. But I'm telling you right now, we're going to have what may be the first potentially of up to 3 green-white checkers.
You're exactly right. You know, we've seen the problem earlier in the day with Kyle Busch having some trouble on restarts with the fuel not picking up. These guys are a little bit low on gas, and I'm sure that's what contributed to Kyle not getting going, and Johnny Benson as well.
Let's take a look at this restart.
There's a lot of stuff goes on here, Rick.
Yeah, problems with the 15 is What happens first?
Immediately. He just never goes. He stacks them up behind him. Those guys do a terrific job avoiding him. Looks like Kyle's away clean right now with no problem. Look at Hornaday losing positions. Ricky Carmichael going by in the 4 truck.
But watch Kyle Busch. Once he takes off fine, like you said, Phil, but then that thing dies on him. Right about at the start-finish line, there he goes. His motor cuts out, and here comes Almirola.
And you saw him shaking the truck like the pickup. Maybe he wasn't getting fuel.
Maybe it may have been a vapor lock or something like that. But Austin Dillon looks like he may have expired an engine over there. Let's take a look. Now let's follow Kyle a little bit farther down here. See Eric Almirola right behind him. Kyle's away cleanly, and then all of a sudden, right past the start-finish line, the thing blubbers. He tries to shake it. He loses at least 3 positions right here.
Remember note to the team earlier in the show. I don't like the carburetor's cutting out on restarts. That could have been exactly what I'm sure that's exactly what happened. We thought that it could play into the conclusion of this race. If we did have a late restart, that's exactly what's happened.
So Eric Almirola is the benefactor of these problems by the guys running 1 and 2.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. We have a restart with less than 5 laps to go, and the first and the second place trucks both have problems. This is Matt Crafton. We're going to ride along with him.
Green.
Doesn't go. The 15 doesn't go, and Crafton was right behind him.
33. Clear high. Clear high. Green flag.
There's Austin Dillon.
Come on.
He gets up to the start-finish line, and then smoke starts rolling out of that truck.
Load up.
He blew up.
Shut it down.
You know, it jumped out of gear. We heard that earlier. And when the truck jumps out of gear, then he over revs it, and that probably led to the thing blowing up. And watch Eric Almirola. He's got to think he got the biggest gift of his whole life.
He's right. I'm in good shape. I'm in second. Oh, by the way, Kyle Busch is slowing down.
And you could hear his spotter. The tone of his voice went up when he knew that something was wrong with that 18. All clear, all clear.
Well, listen to you got to tip your hat to the rules. You know what NASCAR has done with the double file restarts and the waiver rounds. This guy would have been out of luck, but through strategy and through using the rules, he got back on the lead lap. He's got a fast truck. He drove it to the front. Now he's got a chance to win this race.
Now Eric Almirola's teammate in the 15 had problems on the restart. What was it, Adam?
No doubt that it would have been Johnny Benson in the catbird seat had he not had those issues on the restart, and they're really not sure, but the only thing that Johnny could come up with is that it vapor locked. They elected to come down pit road because they had lost so much track position. They still had a set of right side stickers. They have bolted those on. He won't have much track position. You can see he will restart 16th, but those tires could make a difference on this late run, right?
And Adam, I had told you earlier in the race about Kyle's issue with his carburetor. He just came on and told his crew chief, Eric Phillips, if I really do a good job of cleaning it out, that's when a vapor locks on me right at the start-finish line. If I don't clean it all out, he said, then I get a little loss of power in the entrance of turn 2. I'm going to go with option number 2. I'm not going to clean it out this time. We'll see if we can make a run at him.
Remember, when we started this show, we talked about guys that had won for their very first time in the Truck Series at this racetrack. Brian Scott, Scott Speed, Chad Chaffin, and Jason Leffler. Well, we talked about the 51 of Eric Almirola being one of those drivers that could get his first win, and look where he is now.
He was your spotlight driver.
I told you guys, he would be tough, and he's been tough. And you know, Brian Scott and Scott Speed, they both used pit strategy to get position on the field, and then they held it. But there's been no pit strategy, in my opinion, that is going to factor out in the outcome of this one. It's just been a battle. Kyle Busch had a faulty carburetor there on the restart, lost the lead. Can he bounce back and get the win?
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. But this following us, you got to check out this story about Dale Earnhardt. There's some, I've seen clips of this. It's a great story. So be sure to tune in.
And he was a part of so many of these terrific finishes like we're just about ready to have here. We're about less than a half a lap to go from this restart. We've got Ty Bodine that we haven't seen a whole lot of. Second in points coming into this race. We know the point leader, Timothy Peters, has already had problems. Look, Justin Lofton's running 4th right now, Michael.
Uh-oh, Kyle Busch is off the track.
Kyle Busch has come on to pit road. Our first attempt at a green-white checker. So problems for Kyle Busch as the field comes
ready, guys.
to the green flag. Green flag back in the air.
Todd Bodine doesn't go either. These guys are running low on gas. Their wind is 80 laps. They pitted with 75 to go. They're just not picking up their gas on the restart. You see Hornaday with problems as well.
We stay green. Eric Almirola out in front. Justin Lofton running second. Todd Bodine is third.
There's Johnny Benson.
No, Todd Bodine is. Todd's dropped back to fifth.
All you, brother. All you.
He's got
10 back.
White flag in the air. Eric Almirola less than a mile away from his first win in the Camping World Truck Series.
Look at this battle for second. James Busher, who spun early, trying to get by Justin Lofton for the second spot.
Home, 15 back.
Justin Lofton in the white truck on the inside. James Busher on the outside, trying to take second away. Coming out of turn number 4, Eric Almirola in the 51 is going to win in the Camping World Truck Series.
James Busher with a second place finish.
Good job, guys.
That was an intense 2 laps, wasn't it?
My first win, man. I told you we could do it.
How about that? We knew Eric Almirola was close.
I love you guys. I love you guys, too. That is awesome, guys. Great job. Great comeback. That's just awesome. Congratulations to all you guys.
Yeah.
That's owner Billy Ballou right there. Had so much success with Kyle Busch. Kyle left to form his own team, and here Eric Almirola jumped in that truck, and here he is in victory lane.
I bet you we're going to get to see a pretty good burnout here.
It was the chassis. How much success has the chassis had? Well, Kyle Busch has 9 wins in this truck. Shane Beal 1, and now Eric Almirola has added to that number. Take a look at his celebration, his first ever win in the Camping World Truck Series.
You knew it was coming, Phil.
Absolutely.
But darn, with 10 laps to go, you never would have guessed it would have been today.
Well, how about James Busher finishing second, Justin Lofton third, Ricky Carmichael with a career best of 4th.
And you remember Eric Almirola's first win in NASCAR came with a little bit of a shadow over it because he was the driver that started the race, and then Denny Hamlin got into the car and ended up winning the race, but Eric Almirola got credit for it. This one is all Eric Almirola.
And he got 2 laps down during the race. 2 laps down, had to wave around in a lucky dog, and he's going to be in victory lane.
Watch what happens. We thought the last restart was crazy. Watch, Kyle Busch pulls in because he's out of gas. Watch, Todd Bodine's truck doesn't go. Ron Hornaday's truck doesn't go. These guys are just stumbling all over the place, and people are scrambling to try to find a hole. Busher finds a hole around Todd Bodine.
So Todd Bodine, you see him on the inside. He's slow. Trucks start to fan out to see how they can get by.
Here comes Carmichael around Bodine.
David Starr barely avoids Todd Bodine.
And then now Todd's up to speed, but look at him, 3 wide as Hornaday didn't go.
And there's Hornaday. He didn't go anywhere. Jason White getting by him.
Todd gets his truck running again and finishes 5th in this race. And how about James Busher? What an amazing finish for him, coming home in 2nd. He's with Adam.
And an amazing run for Turner Motorsports. James Busher 2nd today. How amazing is this?
Oh, it's pretty awesome. This is our 2nd run out with this 31 team. I can't thank Steve Turner and Sandra Turner, the whole Turner family enough. I mean, I've been through a lot with them. I've won championships for them, but I don't know. That's my best finish in NASCAR, and you know, it's almost like a win because it's our family team just about, and you know, 2nd race out, and Carmichael finished 4th, so first top 5 for Turner Motorsports for the 4 and the 31, so that's pretty cool. And you know, like I said, it's almost like a win. Probably just as excited as Eric is right now. He finished 2nd a lot last year, I know, so he's probably pretty happy. But I can't thank all these guys enough. They worked their butts off all winter long, and it's the start of good things to come for sure.
Impressive run for Busher. He will be here the rest of the year.
You can't hide that emotion. You saw it all over his face.
Amazing.
There.
Well, it's been a tough year, you know. His nationwide series hadn't gone like he hoped. He gets in this truck and boom, right back up front. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of James.
Here's our Royal Purple unofficial results. The top 4 all career bests. Eric Almirola, his first ever win. James Busher, Justin Lofton, Ricky Carmichael, all capturing career bests here at Dover.
How about Ryan Sieg back there with a top 10 run in 9th?
Johnny Benson, who had restarted 2nd, drops all the way back to 10th, but gets it running again.
Look at 11th place, Carl Long. We saw him get a lucky dog earlier, just stayed out of trouble, ends up with just on the outside of the top 10.
These guys all had trouble. Elliott Sadler, what a great run he was having. Timothy Peters, our point leader, coming in. Brett Butler wrecked early in the going. Max Pappas was the first peek into what might be happening to some tires. He blew one early.
Austin Dillon in 21st had such a great, probably a top 5 run going till he blew up on that one restart.
Let's head to victory lane, right?
Eric Almirola comes climbing out of number 51. Great radio traffic here that we want to get a little comment on. Guess what? Chassis number 11 gets win number 11. Congratulations, Eric. We knew it was a short time till you'd get here. Welcome to Victory Lane.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I just want to thank God first. Without him, none of this is possible. And what a truck. We had a good truck right off the trailer. We tried a few things the last couple weeks at Nashville and Kansas, and we got off our game. We went right back to our basics, and it's working, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go to the rest of these races. To do it the way we did it, to come back from 2 laps down, blowing the right front tire, not damaging our truck. I just want to thank the fans for sticking out here. What a race.
You said on the radio something about a fight that you and Billy Ballou had. Can you give us a little bit of that story?
After Nashville, we didn't run real good. And just the racer inside me was aggravated. And I got aggravated, and he got aggravated back at me. And he said, well, why don't you just go out and win one and prove me wrong?
27-point lead. Eric Almirola takes the point lead, gets his first win right here at Dover.
And he's going to have to catch his breath. An amazing, amazing day for Eric Almirola, getting his first win in the Camping World Truck Series. Let's take a look at our touch of gray winning touch moments. This is the restart.
Kyle Busch, the 18, takes off, but unfortunately stumbles just past the start-finish line. Eric Almirola jumps to the inside.
He barely made it down there, didn't he? About took part of Kyle's truck with him when he went by.
The spotter right here was saying clear all around, and then his voice went up, clear, clear, and away he goes. Checks out on the field. That was the touch of gray winning touch moment. Touch of gray gets rid of some gray, never all.
One happy young man right there.
There's quite a few happy young men, especially the top 4. What a day for our top 4 here in the Camping World Truck Series.
How amazing is that? Those top guys just all getting their career best finishes right here on one day. That doesn't happen very often.
Timothy Peters drops to the 3rd spot now in our point standings after 6 races. It's Eric Almirola who is on top of the chart. Todd Bodine holds on to his 2nd position. Ron Hornaday in 4th, now 125 points back from the lead.
But how about Ricky Carmichael up in the 6th position after a career best finish?
Hey, man, what a weekend he had.
Oh, my
he
goodness.
ran over lead. He caught on fire. He had a crash. He got another truck out. He got a top 5 finish.
And a career best. Let's hear from him. He's with Adam.
And your first start at Dover, never easy. That's certainly the case for Ricky Carmichael. An amazingly bad weekend until the green flag went in the air today. How did you manage a top 5?
I don't know, man. I just kind of went back to my old moto days, and well, we couldn't be any lower, man. This team was unbelievable. I can't thank these guys enough. 2 Turner Motorsports trucks and a top 5. That's my personal best, and we got a little luck, but I'd rather be lucky than good any day, and I can't believe it. You know, that's why you never give up, man, and what a great day. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. I can't thank Monster Energy enough and Turner Motorsports, everything KHI helps us out with. All these guys, man, I put these guys through the ringer every weekend just with my not knowing things and the bad luck that we've had. So that was a nice payback for sure.
Career best for Carmichael in a backup truck in his debut at Dover.
Career day for quite a few drivers, and what a career Dale Earnhardt Sr. had. 7 championships. Tonight's Speed presents the life of Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator. That's coming up next right here on Speed. And with another man with a very impressive finish, Justin Lofton. He is with Adam Alexander.
No doubt a number of expectations placed on Ray Bestis Rookie of the Year contender Justin Lofton. You've had some bad luck, but today you delivered. Talk about your career best run.
Yeah, this was awesome. I first off got to thank everyone on the number 7 visitpit.com Toyota Tundra. They've worked and worked and worked, especially through all the bad luck we've had. And, you know, to come to Dover, to make it through everything, And to end up third is pretty cool, especially when I think we were cutting it a little close on gas. My crew chief told me we're 8 to the good, but I really think we're 8 to the bad. So once we got going, I started running out through the corners, and you know, just lucky enough to be in third. And just got to congratulate the whole group on the 51. They drove an awesome race, and I love Dover now. It's cool. So.
And he'll take plenty of momentum to Charlotte next week, Rick.
Thanks, Adam. Eric Almirola sitting next to crew chief Richie Waters.
Ah, that's a great feeling.
Catching their breath right now, I'm sure.
Sitting there talking about the Buen, how they put it away.
And those guys were two laps down. I mean, the new rules that we've come up with, the double foul restarts, the waiver rounds, and all that, just really are responsible for Eric Almirola sitting right there with Richie Waters.
He took advantage of them textbook-wise. Couldn't have done it any better than they did it.
And this is becoming the racetrack where you get your first win.
Crazy.
5 first-time winners now in the last 3 races
and
we've had.
Crazy things happen here. 11 races, 11 different winners. Who would have thought that?
How about the top 4 all getting career best? That is an unbelievable statistic.
A tough day for right front tires. A lot of damage to the race trucks. And then it was fuel at the end of the race. Who could get it and who would benefit from those not getting it? The guy who benefited the most, Eric Almirola.